Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
All right, well, we're in. We're in and going. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino Spot. We are here every single Tuesday night. We are live. There's it. I see we're getting comments in already. Mike from Feeden. How's it? Fires. Nice to see you as well. We had a good chat the other day as well. Fires, again, he's making surfboards at the moment. Welcome to Gino Spot and welcome to our show. We've got our sponsors as well. I must thank our sponsors, and that is Fitch and Leeds. Fitch and Leeds have been with us for Lord knows how long. They've been doing our sponsors since COVID, I think it is. Since COVID, been doing, I think. And thank you to Fat Cats. Every now and again, she brings us a nice little bit of food. Although tonight there was nothing tonight. It's fine.
Didn't make it great.
Every now and again, she's too busy, so she doesn't get it. And then of course Amobia for our internet as well. And I see we've normally got we haven't got our settings right. We've got to make it a landscape, but it's fine. We'll do it. We'll get our sponsors in for our sponsor stories in, and of course we've been busy with our new venue, our new shows as well. Been coming online. The 80 show was absolutely spectacular at Centre Stage at Bay West. We've got our Centre Stage Bay West is our new venue. We've had going and it's been marvelous. We've had 2 shows now. We did a whole lot of shows in the first segment, about 8 or so shows, and now we've got the 80 shows that we're running at the moment, which is a big band, like 11-piece band. The big brass section has been absolutely amazing. So and it's 15th and 16th. It's on again. 15th and 16th of this month, we're on again.
You're on again. Because that's my genre.
You got to get you.
That is America. That's
prime. Properly.
Thompson, Leatherbone.
That's it. Leatherbone, yes.
Leatherbone.
That's the stuff.
Gary and Spider. But they didn't make it the hits.
That's it. No. They just played it.
But it's my 80s is disco.
It's your scene.
It's the scene.
But who's seen it? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Guy Dakin. We got Guy in today, and we're going to have a great chat. And I know Guy's part of the Dakins in general, are part of the PE. Part of the PE scene for so many years, and so it's interwoven into the fiber of PE, which is for sure. When I think of Russell, yourself especially at the moment in the thick of everything that's going on,
Yeah.
And particularly with you doing liquor licenses and things, we've been involved in with that as well, and so all the new spots that are opening up and that are coming out. Is that your scene?
That is it, yeah. As you're helping you guys out,
yeah.
It's trying a little bit, but we're getting there.
We are.
We've made a plan so far.
For sure.
We are done plan A now. We're on to plan B.
There's always so much going on with with this venue that we're doing.
No, it's great, man. Because
it's crazy.
I'm gonna
move the
it's just something to when you see people wanting to do entertainment and into restaurant and the food game, in PE, I think often sometimes, you just, you go and spend all this money and you invest it and it takes hours of your time and then you don't know when you open your doors, maybe no one comes.
Yeah.
or the whole of PE comes.
I know, well, thank goodness we've had good numbers.
So you've got to a good start. I mean, the worst would have been, and you open those doors and no one came.
No. I know. That was always a worry.
But I think although Centre Stage, how to do entertainment. So
exactly.
That's your game.
It's been there for 20 odd years. We've been doing the thing,
So now you just got to do the compliance issues.
That's it.
Cross all the ticks.
Make sure everything in order.
Make sure we don't have any or Benny Tavern on the hands.
No, we don't. Lordy, no, we don't need that.
Yeah.
And but just from your perspective, I think we're gonna chuck right into the history because I mean I love talking about the PE. The old days in PE as well, and the people in PE, you know, and where they've come from and how they've, you know, the interwoven stories that are there. And I think you've got a million of those.
Well, I have, but
You're born and bred PE. Where did you come from?
No, I was actually born in Johannesburg.
Johannesburg?
Yes,
Okay.
Johannesburg. My father was, my father had married to my mother, and I was 2 years old up there. And my brother had just been born. And it was
It's Russell.
Russell.
Okay, so a little bit older than you.
No, he's 2 years younger than me.
So
he'd just been born. I was 2.
Oh, you were 2, and he'd just been born.
Yes.
Okay.
So at that point, Jeff, my uncle, Jeff,
Yes.
most of the people know him in PE and that, and you know, he's got his.
What's his history? What's Jeff's history?
Jeff's history is that, well, he was an exceptional sportsman. So,
Okay.
so the whole family
Sports.
it revolves a lot around sport.
Yeah.
Our family and their stories, and you know, we had to discuss a bit of legal side of my side, I suppose. But those others can talk about that. But I know that I was also involved in a lot of sports. So out of the people that you've interviewed.
Yes.
So it comes a lot of stories that are familiar with me of
yes.
the people that have talked about the various sport, like Gavin Hogg and Warren Jack and Garth Webster.
Garth Webster, who we saw the other night, he was at a
Fires
event.
van Vieren, obviously, and Dave Richardson and Gavin Cowley, and that. And I can probably tell a story about 90% of
Those
your
cricketers.
Guys. Those
Mark
cricketers.
Rashley,
100%. Okay, so a lot of them. Okay, and so the family's PE based in that, and it was only. One aunt and whatever that went off from the story, and it's actually quite a fascinating story because the family actually started in Westbourne Road, with Katie Johnston, and she had 4 daughters, and that was my gran and Jeff's my
Your father was his first
John
name?
Dakin.
John.
Okay.
John. Okay.
Yeah. So it started with them, and it started with Frank Johnson and a family, and then of course my gran married a Dakin, and that's where the Dakin started. But there's Mowbrays, Birches, and there's yes, and then if you go to East London way, you'll get the Haraway family, and in the Haraway family, they huge big and invested in East London. Okay, Tony Haraway, Robin Haraway. And then they also had Leslie Haraway. And then, of course, married into that family is Lee Irvine, who was the left-hand cricketer for South Africa. Yeah. So he's also part of the extended family.
Jeez, so it's a bit of a sporting thing.
We had that. We had them all involved in that. Bob Haraway and my grandfather were big friends and stuff. And so it's actually a family that was consisting then of the Dakins, the Mowbrays, the Haraways, etc. And I mean, the Haraways, before they left PE, to give you some sort of idea, their family home was in Park Drive, was St. George's Primary School.
Oh, wow.
That was home.
Okay. Of course, the Haraways.
So we actually, we sort of know all of this kind of stuff because we actually have our own we had our own newspaper for many years. Called Katie's Clan. Jeez. And it would come out in December every year. There was a scribe. My aunt was in Cape Town, Diana Lancaster. She also lived here for a while, but then she decided to go up market and go to Cape Town. But she was like a scribe and put this newspaper together, and it would tell everything about what the families had been up to.
Okay.
In all the years.
Like a family-based newspaper.
Yes, and then on the Haraway side, they were very close with the Haraways. They were the same age and everything, but Robin Haraway wrote a book. A proper novel, but he wrote it about his father and his family. But he also brought in Jeff visiting them on country trips when he was a little bit older and teaching them maybe some not nice things, but teaching them the ways of life and that in many ways as well. So Jeff, so we've actually got a.
Was that because the Haraway was that Davina as well?
She's involved. She's part of the family.
Because
she's
they owned the place on the corner next to Charlie Cribb.
So that's where they were the rich people. They were rich part of the family at that stage. Look, Jeff now becomes Jeff does all right, and everybody does all right at the end.
Yes, for sure.
So let's just, for the purpose of this, because we've got a big factory. We've got it extends to the as I said, to the Mowbrays, and then also into the Birches and the Proctors and Johnny. So it's a big
Jeez,
family.
like, crikey, but
now, but we get just to sit with the Dakin side now, which came from basically in the ones that were vested in P was basically Jeff and my father, and then my brother Russell, and then my cousins Jenny, who married Russell Fensham, Springbok hockey player, EP cricketer. So
that's right, the hockey. That's why I remember the Fensham from.
Yeah, Jenny tried that. Jenny. Well, let me not go there with her boyfriends. Okay. So Jeff was happy when she married Russell Fensham. He was Russell Fensham, a fantastic guy.
Yes,
he lives up the road over here. It's a little warm. They live in Jeff's house.
Yeah.
That's another story. But and I'll come back to Russell Fensham as well, because some people don't know what happened to Russell at a certain stage. But Jeff, my father, anyway, to start off, we were in Johannesburg, and then Jeff said, I'm opening up an agency business here in P. Manufacturers rep like Gavin Hogan, what he does. And so they were salesmen. So he said to my father, come down and join and be my and be involved in the business with me. Yeah. And they worked their whole working lives together. Yeah. As based there at the end in Warmer. Yeah. And then they brought in my cousin Grant and cousin Bryce, also went into the business.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
But then on our and I mean it was a business that Jeff started from scratch. Yeah. And I can remember, for example, just that people can understand what happened at that stage. Yeah. I can remember that my father had this old Zodiac motor vehicle in those days, those big old Zodiacs, and he would take out the back seat of the Zodiac, and then my mother would fill it up with polish. Cobra polish to go, which you could polish your wooden floors in, and then she would drive around Mill Park and stop at each house and ring on the bell and ask them to buy.
Smosing.
That was my mother. Now, she was a nurse.
She was a...
But she'd been pulled out of her nursing profession because she had children now. But while they were working, Jeff and my father, I can remember specifically stopping and getting told, climb in the car with your brother, who was basically couldn't hardly walk, and the two of us would have to go on this tour around Warmer around Mill Park while she started sending either stoop polish or body for fully shares and that. So that was the kind of business that they started.
Hard sales, like door to door. Hard sales. So
the part about it is that at this point and in that amongst them and then is that no one was, we're not academic. No one is going to become a doctor or this or that or whatever. Okay. And Jeff often says, I said to him, he's saying is, the best university is the University of Life.
Yes.
And in many respects,
he's
right.
Old school.
The best university is the University of Life.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's where you learn everything. Yeah. And so, and that works very well. Because if you've got certain routines and and you can sell and you've got a personality.
Isn't it true? I mean, the way they're even looking at education these days is like rather have that life experience.
You see, which is the part that people don't do. Obviously, with the digital age and the kids now, it's all remote. It's not that. So it's back to meeting people, and Jeff, of course, at that stage was playing both Eastern Province cricket. And he was playing Eastern Province rugby. It's also that era of Cowley that played Gavin that played fly half for EP, and then would play cricket for EP.
Cricket and rugby together.
And then he would go and play soccer on a Sunday, like he told you. He was like the whole Draper Cowley family is something else.
Okay. Drapers as well. That's old Tomo's father-in-law.
Yes, he married Pam, and Ronnie is 100 years still alive and at the road. Now when I played cricket at Grey, then Ronnie was permanently walking around the field,
Draper.
encouraging as a legend.
Lovely guy, lovely.
Fantastic nature and stuff.
Yes.
But Gavin Cowley also, fantastic family. His brother Lindsay was in my class. Okay. I mean, and... Is
that Grey?
At Grey. Okay. And Lindsay, just as good a sportsman. First team centre, opening bowler for the Grey first team.
The genes
are in there. But very laid back as well. And in fact, at the World Cup, they did a cut where Hamish Shamangi went into the stand and had Lindsay and Mike Mittermeier singing the Grey High School song in the middle of the World Cup before the start of the one game. Some people saw it and it went a little bit viral, as they call it now. But, but that's Lindsay. It's a fantastic guy who was in my class.
Yeah.
But this, it was fairly evident early on, and with respect, that all of the children of the Dakin side, they were somewhat challenged when it came to the academics. And it wasn't going to be a case that everybody was going to get degrees and stuff. Now, maybe even if Jeff wanted that to happen, there was a challenge on that, and there was a challenge on my side, and I won't go down to my brother, how he carried on, but that's another story for other days. Maybe he should come and tell you the story, but he's something else, okay, in terms of the way he approached academics.
But your own ones, so that was another story. I just want to get Philippa to change that there's a screen setting as well. It's just on the settings there, and you go to the layouts, and then you can change it so we can see there. It's crop solar layout at the top. There we go. Click top one, right at the top. There we go. That's the one. I like that, so we can see our sponsors as well. Check that in. Otherwise, Gary's going to be watching this from his thing saying their sponsors are not on the screen. And I also want to tell the guys out there. I see the 1 or 2 comments coming in as well. We are live, Wendy. I see Wendy saying, Philip Lopes is saying hello from the United States. He's over there as well. But this problem, people can watch this from all over the world, which is quite cool. So how's it, Philip? Nice to see you. And Wendy says, are you live today? Yes, because last week we had a pre-recorded show, and we had a winner that had won on the day that we recorded it. And Wendy sent me the name again for the same winner and phoned the guy and said he's won again. So no, he didn't win again. It just was a pre-recorded one. And I see Mind Point Period saying, how's it given horns? Absolutely. Fires, nice to have him on as well. So
maybe I must just tell a quick story about Fires.
Fires. Tell us the story.
Look, now you actually,
Fires,
as I say, we must stay a little bit focused here because... We
ADD. I'm ADD.
We've got these. We want to kind of know what I suppose most of the guys what they do for a living. But Fires is a very interesting story. With Fires.
Yeah.
So we played. We were playing cricket. I was playing in the Colts, which is under 15.
Okay. Yes.
Before you get to the big stuff. Okay. So I was, obviously 14, and we went through the season, and Neil Thompson was our coach.
Okay, Tomo.
The musician. He was our coach, cricket coach. And we just pummeled everybody in sight for the season.
Good team.
Against all this. Good Tim Seaman, Andrew Proctor, Denky Lake, Lindsay Cowley.
The Lakes, another big team.
That Lakes, Upper Tankatora. I mean, proper cricket. First team rugby, fly-off, brilliant cricket, good cricket. Andrew Proctor played 5 sports, golf, running, cycling, you name it. First team this, first team that, colours. Squash play. I mean, Andrew Proctor could play 10 sports, like Carl Baumeister. They pick a thing up and they just play it. Okay, and then they get focused on it, so they get good at it.
Yes.
If Andrew Proctor played golf, you go from a 24. He went from a 24 to about a scratch eventually, 1 or 2. But he would just focus on that.
Yeah.
And then same would happen on whatever he does. That's how they operate. So we had this brilliant team. We cleaned everybody up. And Neil Thompson said, look, I'm going to arrest 1 or 2 of the guys on the team because they weren't available or whatever, and I'm going to bring in 1 or 2 of the guys that I need for the Colts next year, because Tomo hated losing. He wanted to win everything.
Yeah.
And Tomo liked it. He liked this team.
Yeah.
And I remember how he used to go about, what his party trick was for the team to make us win.
Yeah.
Is that we would play the game and play hard, and then at the end of it he would bring out a crate of Cokes or 2-litre cool drinks in a bottle those days. So bring out a cake, and then he would have prizes, the best batsman. But then he would bring Pam, his wife, the draper, who was now Miss Rhodes. But everybody could not get a kiss from Pam, and so you got to think. So all the oaks now they played very well.
Beautiful Pam.
They wanted Coke and they wanted to kiss Pam. So Tomo had it all sorted out. Didn't have to give team talks or anything while we were there. So anyway, to cut a long story short, he says, listen, I've arranged a friendly at the end of the season. And I'm bringing up 2 juniors and that. So he's bringing up my cousin Grant Dakin, who's a proper sportsman,
Okay.
MP rugby right wing, proper opening bowler.
Wow. Okay.
Fantastic guy. Could have played South Africa rugby, Grant. He's so good.
Yeah.
So you bring him up, and I'm bringing up Gary Parker-Nance into this team, just to put to us. And he says, so guys, we've got a problem though, because there are still other guys, teams are playing off their tournaments, the fields aren't available, the guys have started getting the pitch ready on the Phillip field for rugby, etc., etc. Yeah. So we're playing on the rectory field, which is got to have a Koya mat on it. Okay, so
it's a mat.
Yeah. And it's just a 40 over a game against this team that I've invited to play with us. So we'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning and ready, and then we're going to play this last game just because as a season.
This is a friendly.
Jeez, man, we're parking off already under the pine trees and the bus drives in, and it's a VP school bus.
You know, I know exactly which bus that was. It's a big bus.
Flipping hell. Hey. And, you know, out of this bus now tumbles Andre van Vieren, Lance Klaassen, Mark Atkinson, Fires van Vieren gets out, all 6'2" of him. Okay, and we now have just graduated, you know, from playing in short pants to Colts now. Okay, and we lose the toss. Okay, and we stay hanging around there, and we said, but like, these guys are big, eh? And then they start off. Mark van Vieren starts pacing out a 25-meter run. I mean, he's later extended to about 35 meters, but 25 meters. Yeah. And the wicketkeeper's busy pacing back, because Mark has told this guy, you've also got to go and stand 20 meters back if you're going to not just let me have bars on my card and wide. Yeah. You've got to be back there. Yeah. And we're looking at this now, all of 14, and out goes Dale Robinson goes out. And Tim Seaman goes out to bat. Now, these guys could play. Properly, these guys. Yeah. And Mike van Sieren came in, and this third ball he bowled, he hit Dale with a cap on. He hit him straight on the side of the head.
Oh, no.
And that was Dale finished. He got carried off, concussed. He had to go lie under the trees and get water. And
no helmets in those days.
No caps, no helmets, nothing.
Caps.
And and being Colts, you know, if you got one, the guy would struggle to get it up to you. And then 14-year-old, you know. But now we've got this machine coming in, fires coming in at the other end, you know. Like 3 kilometers less than he could bowl when he opened for EP. Yeah. And the next, so I go in 3, and it's a nerve-shattering experience, because this. But he, to be honest with you, I think he laid it off a little bit with him. But anyway, Tim Seaman got to the next end. It was that was the end of Tim. He was tickets. He was out. So we were like 2 runs for 2 wickets, and in came Andy Proctor, and now Andy could play, but Fires and him. They'd had a bit of I don't know, they had a bit of tipsy, and Fires thought, and Andy was cocky, because in everything he had confidence, he was cocky, and the second ball he got, Fires hit him right under the armpit over here. Yes. And that was Proctor finished. Oh, he had ribs and things, so he got taken off.
Oh dear.
And so it went on until we were sitting at about 40 runs, and we were like 7 wickets down. Yeah. And out comes my cousin, and I'm hanging around there with like 4 not out, or 5 not out, ducking around, getting to the other end and playing around there. Yeah. And now my cousin Grant comes out, so I walk out to him, and I meet him, and I say to him, Grant, I said to him, listen, man, you're only 13, eh? Can you handle this? Okay, I said, take your head off and that. He says to me, don't worry about me, I'll sort him out. So he takes guard, and he stands there, and Fires now is fired up. Yeah. So he bowled like 6 overs, he got 6 wickets. Yeah. He goes up quickly, and he comes whizzing, and he comes down, and my cousin, Grant, is like fearless, okay? Yeah. He 2-stepped him, like a meter out of his crease at Fires, and had a full go at whatever he was going to bowl at him. At this big. And it was Fires, to his credit, and this is what I like about Fires, he broke down hysterically. He thought it was so funny. He probably won't remember it though. And he just stood there, and that was the end of Fires. He couldn't bowl any longer at us, because my cousin had the audacity, this youngster that had come in there
to have a go.
And just walked down to the first ball, and they had a flipping waft at him and tried to smash him out of the park.
Oh, Fires, you'd have to put your side of the story in the comments. Yeah. And someone must tag Tomo. Please, someone tag Tomo.
Yeah. No, Tomo was unbelievable. But I mean, we had a bit of sympathy with. I think you went to VP as well. When we played Ashby, there was another story when I played rugby. So we had I didn't make but we had the dream team of 1977. Okay. Tanky Lake, all these guys, but they're a bit older. But in my era, I found a newspaper article on the other day. Is it from under 10A to under 15A? In that entire period, I lost 2 games of rugby at Grey.
Yeah.
We were under 12 in the junior school, and we played Sunridge Park. You had someone on from Sunridge Park. Someone went to Sunridge Park. He rated it. I forget. I forget it was Sunridge Park. Michael White.
Oh, Michael White.
I think he went to Sunridge Park. But
Yeah.
we played there under 13, 18. Yeah. And they had an oak of about 6'1" who was the 8th man. He'd already developed fully. And
a beard.
And they were the unbeaten team around. They couldn't play Grey under 13A, but they played the rest of the Oaks a bit. And they came, and Charlie Pout said, you Oaks are going to have a friendly at the end of the season. We played the under 13 team. But then we went to play under 13 in the high school. We beat Grey Bull.
Yeah.
They came down under 14 and they beat us. That's the second game we
That's
lost.
the big derby, yeah.
And the third game we beat them again.
Yeah.
So that was how good, that's how powerful. We used to go 120 nil. Every Oak scored a try. And that's how the team was. That's how strong it was at that time. And so that was then.
It's nice to. I mean, all these schools in PE. There's we spoke with Fires as well before. There's such a lot of, especially obviously the high schools is where the breeding ground for all these sportsmen comes in, and it's often the hostel boys, that's the hostels that breed these really good players.
That Grey High School hostel. Yeah. The problem with is that they're the minority because Grey's mainly majority.
Yeah, it's Day boys mostly.
Yeah. So in that hostel, I don't know what it's like now on that, but it was hardcore.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have an annual match. I think they've called it off once or twice, but where the Day boys play the Borders. And the Borders only got like 60 Oaks to choose from. They haven't got to pick the selection. Yeah. But man, they work those Day boys. I mean, the Day boys have got like, if the first team, rugby, the Day boys will have 12 of the 15 Oaks or 10 of the 11 of the 15, but the Borders will make up for it. And those Oaks get themselves into such a frenzy to take it out on these, because they're probably waiting for the odd weekend out and this and that, and they're the minority. So that was how it was then. Okay. So they really... They added a competitive edge to it. People like Tanky Lake, the farmers, and that, and they were good at sport.
The farms. That's what I'm saying. When you're saying that the lakes have got so many farms around from here to East London, and a big family out there. We must get one of them on. I know Andrew, who's got the spa up in East London.
Correct.
And lovely guy as well. And but I see the lake name all the way down. It's the 1820 settlers.
No, well, they're still sitting around there. That Tankatara, they're there. The shop that we get all the pies from over here in the corner.
I'm thinking of Louis King of Samosas, but
no. You must get to that world famous. I can't believe that I can't.
You're talking about Nanacha.
So that Lee Lake is there. She's married to Malcolm. That's part of the family.
Yes,
that's all. They're all around there.
The dairy farm.
No, there are lots of them there. Yeah. Anyway, so. Yeah, so
you spoke about Michael White, though. I know you got some.
No. So now we get to so out of all of this now, it sort of manifests at some stage that listen, if there's a guy that's got the clever guy, in this out of the 5
Dakins,
that's me.
Okay, so that was you. You were like
I'm now this guy's conscientious and he's clever. So then it brings me. So now I think that's what they think, and my uncle think. My Jeff is like, guy works. He's
guys there.
So my late mother, she never left anything alone. So I looked at this, and I looked at I went and looked at. She kept all my report cards.
Yeah.
So now I went and looked at some of those reports.
You found some
because now I'm the guy that's conscientious, and I'm
77. Or even before then?
Yes, I matriculated in 77. But now this is standard 6B, grade 8.
All right.
Guys worked fairly well. I hope you'll use the holidays to read intelligently. Now, that's what my English teacher tells me. Okay?
Yeah.
And then it gets worse into grade 8. Grade 7, standard 7, grade 9.
Yeah.
But then I must be honest. And this is what your guy that's in charge of the whole form.
Yeah.
He says,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So he says to me, guys should work harder and talk less in class. He's very argumentative and tries to distract the class.
Yeah.
Guys passed standard 8 and has satisfied the requirements for matriculation exemption. In fact, Stan Atkins was the headmaster at that stage, the boss as we used to call him.
Yes, the boss.
And with my standard 7, which went a little bit worse than standard 6.
Okay.
He told me then, I must report to his office the next year.
Yeah. Okay.
For a talk
For a little bit of a talk.
For a talk about how do I think that I'm going to turn out.
Do you remember the talk or not?
No, I don't remember. Because you're so scared. Eh? Listen, you start shaking when you were going to that office. When you went down those passage on those tiles and you got to that office and had to ring that bell and you got that light that said come in.
Oh, is it a light?
But a light.
How's that?
When the light come off, you can come in. So that was problem. And you don't know if you're going there, you could end up walking out with three cuts those days. That's what could have been his talk to you.
Yeah, okay, that was actually the talk.
That could have been the talk. So anyway, then things got a bit better because, I then had a look at when I got to standard 9, which is just before matric now.
Yeah.
And then I saw, this is most pleasing and next round. So I pulled myself up from 74 out of 138 in the grade.
Yeah.
I see I got to 21.
Okay.
So now there was a huge... huge
so there's a moment in your life.
At this stage now, I'd stopped reading all my Louis L'Amour's and books and those kind of things, which were my favorite. And
we were just talking about, before we started, about how your dad you were talking about Singman's in Main Road. I love that.
Singman's, Mrs. Singman, when I used to visit my cousins, we'd go to Mrs. Singman's.
Yeah.
Wonderful lady.
Beautiful.
Fantastic place. And I still, legendary.
They had a tennis court there. Used to go and hire the tennis
100%
court.
behind there.
Yeah. That's classic.
Yes, but
it's a nose pizza now. Epi's working there.
Yeah, no, go there on Friday nights, evenings. Now they're going to get a pizza, and I see him there.
Yes, Epi.
I mean, it's just like a hive of activity there. It's like bedlam.
But
it's wonderful.
Looking at that place, I still think of Singman's every time. I go there.
Mrs. Singman used to sit behind there. When we pulled up there, you could just put your bicycles, queue them. No, you don't have to lock them, nothing. No one stole your bicycles. You're running there. And you would order, but she would just start give you a few free sweets. There's some space toffees for you. Space toffees for you. There you are. She'd hand them out.
You used to play TV games there.
100%. It was incredible. In that shop, she had everything there. You could get yourself, if you needed to darn something, you get a needle from her. If you needed a food, everything was in there.
Gearbox. Jam. What do you need?
So as soon as we had some money, we would all ride our bicycles there and down to Mrs. Singman's to.
Whereabouts was your place? Where did you ride?
So Jeff has always been in Warmer, so he was up at 64 10, but right opposite Little Warmer.
Okay, but no, when you were kids then?
Humid. We were out.
Okay, you humid? So
we were at the beach.
So
my brother and I were stuck at the beach.
You visit your cousins.
So holidays and cousins, you get dumped off there.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And then we left with my poor Aunt Diana, late Diana, Jeff, her first wife. And then you'd play. But all you got was that she'd phone you. There's Oros put out to you for lemon creams, for tea time and whatever,
Yes.
And then you all have it, and then you must just disappear again.
Lemon creams and Oros.
Yes. And all Romany creams,
There was other
or
if you were
just
fancy.
So she would that's how you'd be looked after.
Classic, man.
But anyway, so out of this, comes this scenario, and when I get to matric, I haven't got a clue what I wanted to do really. So I went to the army for 2 years and did my national service.
Okay.
Nice time, very wonderful in Bloemfontein.
Yes.
Spent
Bloemfontein.
18 months, 9 months there, but it was.
What was it called there? The spot?
I was actually booked into my basics at one South African mechanized unit.
It's like the
So that's where they
engineers.
just brought those rattles in.
Okay,
the rattles.
Okay.
So you get normal infantry.
Yeah.
But then you get the mechanized where you ride in the rattles.
Okay.
But you've got to have a crew for the rattles. You've got to have a driver, a gunner, and
It's like a tank. Yeah.
So it was a tank. So when we went up there to go there, I remember Lindsay Cowley was with me. We did races together.
It's Gavin's brother.
Yeah, Gavin's brother from class. Slob Brzeski, Byron Brzeski.
Slobby Brzeski.
Together. And in fact, they were just incredible because they were. And Jeff actually dropped me off at this with that for army because my father wouldn't interrupt the Christmas holiday down at Knysna where he was camping and fishing and that. So I had to take a plane from Plett and land here. And Jeff picked me up and he just said, your father's left this trommel with me, the steel, and you're going to the army. I'll take you down to the station and drop you off there.
To the train station?
Yeah, to the train station. So now we get to the train to Bloemfontein, but then, and there were 7 of us, but the compartment only took 6. But not one grey oak was going to go out because the oaks obviously were from dispatch and these oaks were there. It was hardcore, the stuff. And we saw it was coming along there. The oaks weren't even coming with trommels.
Okay.
It's coming with themselves. Nothing else.
Yes.
And it's loading onto the train. So 7 grey boys stayed in a 6-man compartment.
Okay. One's on the floor.
Took turns.
Yeah, look, we're going to go out here. Anyway, just keep it tight.
Yeah. But then what happened was that the guys were also into officers' course.
Yeah.
But with sport and stuff like that, Slob was in the armored cars and that. But what happened is they bought out the Ratel that had a 90mm cannon on it for the first time, which they had on the armored car. They put that onto the Ratel. Okay. So they wanted to train the guys on that. So they let 6 of us. Instead of going to Oudtshoorn to do officers' course, they let us go to the School of Armour in Bloemfontein up at the top, next to the Tempe Tigers.
Okay.
So, and then of course, so Lindsay departed off down to Oudtshoorn, etc., to do his course.
Yeah.
Stevie de Boer stayed as the medic, where he slept in the medic's room for 2 years, so he was quite happy to do that.
Okay.
And I went to the School of Armour, and then Baron Breedsky, Slob Breedsky came up there, grew up with me in Humewood. Okay. And we ended up at the School of Armour, and the 2 of us would cavort up and down from P. But I can't start there because that was coming down at Tomo at the stage door and all that stuff. But,
stage door.
No,
Yeah.
We had so the army was a whole story. So of course then that ended, and I came here, and then I still didn't know what I wanted to do really in that. So I said to my father, I said, look, you're the bright one and the clever. When I look here now, I've never got an A in my life. I've got the matric exemption and that's it. Okay? But you're the clever one. So in the family, you must go and be the first one to go and get a degree.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, okay, fine. Well, what do you want to do? I said, I don't really know what I want to do or anything. So I said, but I tell you, I think what I'll do is I'll go and do a BA in like public administration. I think I could be quite good at it,
Yeah.
You work for the municipality or do something like that.
That's a good idea, don't I?
A good idea. I don't know. So but it's better than when I was in Standard 9 when I went with Squeaky de Boer to the Harmony Gold Mine on a tour where I went underground. I thought I came back and said I'll be a mining engineer.
Jeez,
my father said, "Are you mental? Those guys work up there. You like it here at the sea and everything. You're going to go down 2,000 meters down a mine." I said, "Well, I've been down there and I've checked how they mine gold on a rotary trip." Anyway,
2,000 meters down.
Down Harmony Gold Mine to the bottom. Check the guys in the stopes at the bottom taking it out. And I mean, I'm so claustrophobic now. I wouldn't go near.
Mine.
I wouldn't even go near that thing. But they just drop you down that story. It's quite an experience, and this is why I say. So anyway, go to varsity now, thinking I'm going to do this BA or something like this to sort it out. And I got and my father said, "No, look." So I got there. Okay.
Yeah.
Geez, when I arrived, and now it's NMU, which is UPE. And when I got there, God, the BAQ was like around the whole admin block.
Yeah.
Because those days there's no online registration. And you pitch on a day and you come and you go sign up for your degree at a table.
Yeah.
And this queue is now round the block. Now look at this. I said, "Is this the BAQ?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "What's the BA for?" "No, it's for psychology and administration and teaching." And I said, "But where's one queue?"
Yeah.
I said, "Listen, I'll spend 2 years queuing in the army. First year, I spent queuing in the army. I'm never queuing again.
Yeah.
And I still don't queue today. I won't queue. If it's a long queue, I won't queue.
Yeah.
No matter what it's for.
Yeah.
Okay? Queues, I've got a resistance to it.
Yeah.
If I remember, I'll tell you a story about Lindsay Army in basic sitting in the queue. Anyway.
Okay.
So, I'll bring it in just now, that story.
Okay.
So, I go there and I look at this queue and I think, there's no ways I'm doing that. So anyway, I come back home again. So I said to my dad, "So are you registered now? What are you doing?" "What are you doing?" I said, "I've signed up for a BProc. I'm doing law." He said, "What?" I said, "There was no queue. I was in front of the table." I said, "There's one other oak there." And who's Michael White?
Yeah.
I said, there's Michael White from Grey was there. I said, he's only 17, he hasn't shaved yet. He said, he matriculated when he was like 16 or so. He's a genius. I said, I know. So he signed up for B-Prop, but I don't know why I signed up, but I'm doing law. He told me you can become a lawyer like this.
Yeah.
So I said, fine. So he just looked at me. He said, oh, okay, it's fine. Fine.
And choose your career for the rest of your life on the length of the queue.
So now I pitch off to so that becomes the first day. My father says to me, like, you're going to get your books and stuff like that. I'll sponsor you, we'll pay them, that's okay. But you're only getting this and that, but you're going to have to make a plan for the rest of your stuff, which is interesting. So we get to our first lecture. Yeah. And there were these long auditoriums, they typically go down, and the prof, the dean, was actually Professor Frick van Zyl. Okay. He walks into the front. Yeah. And we're all parking off all like 100 of us, 120. Yeah. And Michael White and the young oaks, they right at the back over there.
Long hair.
Yeah. He had a big afro. One Michael had an afro. He was asking me the afro at one stage. He grew his hair like this. Anyway, and I looked down, and right in the front corner, I see a guy with short back and side still in that. And my hair's also fairly short. We come fresh out of, we've been 2 years in National Service, Army. So I look at this oak down there, and so I mooch down to the oak, and he's sitting on his own though. I'm like, this oak's a bit lonely. So I'm going to pull in next to him and introduce myself. And he said, I was Guy Dakin. He says, Dave Goldberg.
Okay.
Dave Goldberg.
Yeah.
People know Dave Goldberg.
Yeah.
So he's Guy Goldberg and that. So we park off there. And remember, law was 70% Afrikaans, in lectures and notes and everything.
Okay, yes,
you were allowed
of course.
to write in English.
At UPE, it was very Afrikaans.
Very Afrikaans at that stage. And you had to wear a jacket and a tie. Okay?
Well, you just come from the army, so hopefully your Afrikaans was okay.
Yeah, no, Afrikaans is cool. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But not writing it, eh?
Yeah.
Not writing a 3-hour exam in Afrikaans.
No.
But you're allowed to write in English, okay? En in walks the dean, Frick van Zyl, but he was inleiding tot die regwetenskap.
Ja, nee. Okay, inleiding tot die regwetenskap.
So he takes out his list over there now, and he starts at the top. And he starts running around, and just starts off, because you had to, starts off what, and they start there, checks all the oaks, and checking who's in the class and what's going on. And he calls out Goldberg.
Yeah.
And it's like, he just like focuses and he just looks straight at him, eh? But he says, are you not the Goldberg that came here 3 years ago in my class?
Yeah.
So Dave is under pressure now. He's got 120 eyes on him.
Yeah.
No, he is.
Okay.
He says, but we kicked you out. So he comes straight from Kingswood. And I found out this afterwards. He came straight from Kingswood with his long hair, full of attitude.
Okay.
And he only lasted about 8-9 months before they turfed him.
Okay.
Because they couldn't, I don't know what, I never got into the detail with Dave, what he actually did, but he told me he didn't survive the year.
Okay.
So he looks at him and he says, Dave, Goldberg, why are you wasting your time, my time, and this your parents' time?
Yeah, parents' money.
Don't you rather want to pack up and just leave?
Yeah.
The first lecture. Yeah. Dave's now just no. So then he says, okay, he looks at the rest of us. He says, listen, you can look to the person to your left, and that person will be gone next year.
Yeah.
You can look to the person to your right, and that will be gone the next year. So but Dave couldn't look, because I'd already started edging away from Dave. I was like dissociating myself, because he's now a target over there. I knew this was bad stuff coming in now.
Okay.
This good. Yes. And let me tell you, to his credit, I've never seen a guy work harder at varsity than Dave. How he changed. But Dave was in that library after hours, this hours, and he was determined, because he'd now been Dave, by the way, had gone to the Parabats for 2 years.
Jeez,
He done proper stuff. He jumped out of aeroplanes. He was he was in the middle of Angola and shit like this.
Yes,
So Dave was proper.
Yeah.
Now, and David had a complete change of mind. And plus, his parents said to him, there's not a cent that we're paying for your varsity. Yeah. You want to go to varsity, you had your chance. You spent a year of our money.
Yeah.
And now it's you.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had all his danger money from spending half his time in Angola and all of this stuff. Jumping danger money. He got everything for that.
Yeah.
And so he could pay his own tuition fees and he could buy his own books there. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Dave then said to me, I said to my father, I said, listen, Dave, I'm almost on a tight leash here. Yeah. And, you know, to get you in a car, I mean, we lived in Newwood. Yeah. Which was just run down the road past the now Garden Court was Elizabeth
Hotel, yes.
And down at the bottom, early on, they had the old ice rink there, Ice-A-Rama at one stage. Okay. It was an ice rink there, yeah. Go down, my brother and I used to go.
Somebody must take Terry Omeril. She'll remember that
ice rink. So then I used to throw my thumb out over there, and then all the students that came past would stop and they'd give a lift to the varsity and back again. Okay. That was how I got. That's my transport at that stage.
So a taxi service.
So to save bucks, to conserve, because my father was like, no, there's not big spending money coming your way. There's never been pocket money, other than you could still get a Beano magazine.
Beano.
Picking them up.
Desperate Dan
and all that stuff. So anyway, to cut along, so Dave said to me, listen, Guy, you want to make a few bucks? I'm on big stuff here. So Dave said to me, he organised me a job down at Bar Bonanza. At the Elizabeth Hotel, the bottom of the Garden Court.
The pub there.
Yeah, you dressed up with jeans, you put on a shirt, you had this thing you put around your neck with a thing, and you put a Stetson on, and so I would do Friday nights behind the bar. Okay, and sometimes I would do, if it was Wednesday, I'd do ladies' night or Wednesday night. But Dave was proper. He was like almost every night.
Listen, ladies' nights back then was also a bit rough.
No, well. The funny thing about it was, so we spent 3 years together behind the bar there, the thing, and it was quite incredible because you'd have the bands would come in for 3-month gigs. Okay. So Thompson would arrive with Leatherbone. Yes. And they'd be there for 3 months.
Leatherbone. Was that with it was Tomo and Roger Gilson?
It was two of them.
Roger Gilson.
And then they would leave, and then Gary and Spider would arrive. Yeah. And then Joe Parker would arrive with his band. Okay, but listen, so it was brilliant. Okay, but listen, you got a bit gutful of listening to those for 3 months. Okay. But the interesting part about that story was, I mean, that place could take about 600 people in it.
Jeez.
Okay.
Big.
And it had sawdust on the ground and everything. Bar Bonanza.
Okay, proper Bar Bonanza was that series.
Yeah, correct. So
like lawn green and
100%. And that's what was styled on this thing. Okay. And the interesting part about it was, for the first month or so that the guys played, everybody know the new band starting up. So we packed. Yeah. Okay. And then sort of halfway through the second month, the guys from Forest Hill found out about it. Yeah. So they would start coming down. Yeah. And some of the other guys would crawl out from the less salubrious part of the town. And then, of course, they would come in there. And then, of course, what started? The fight. Yeah. The nonsense. Yes. And so when it got to the third month, they were the only guys left in the place because they were tired and sick of their nonsense. So then you'd find out that you had to get the next band in and then they will disappear again. Then they'll look around and say, well, we're the only oaks here now. There's no point in me. Where's the next place we've got to go to? So that's how it worked in the circuit. So we worked for 3 years there. But I mean, for me now, at that stage at varsity, I just want to mention one thing.
Cowboy hat.
Yes, cowboy hat. But the one guy that pitched in for first year law was Russell Fincham. He's now married to my cousin Jenny. Okay. He came to do law. Okay, but he only lasted like 6 months, and he decided this wasn't it for him. He was one of the first one. He didn't even last the 1 year you go into your rights. No, the law didn't get him. Okay, it didn't get a grip on him. So anyway, so we played. I worked there, and then I would work on a Friday night till close up at about 2-3 in the morning after the cash up. Just run back home again to the room that I had downstairs. We lived there in Newwood with 2 houses back from the Elizabeth Hotel. So just run through the neighbour's garden, jump into our garden.
Up on the hill.
Yeah, and of course then I had to shed all my clothes, and then I had to get in the swimming pool because my mother said I can't come into the house with all that smoke on me because everybody smoked in the place. She didn't want to smell that.
Okay, she didn't like smoking.
No, so at 2 o'clock in the morning, I've got to drop all the clothes down there and I've got to get in a swimming pool. And I've got to clean it. Then I can come. Then my towel was waiting for me. She put the towel out for me.
Good mom. Okay, good mother.
So that was one job I did, and that was fun and good money. Yeah. Okay. And then
was that just before you get because I see Barbara Manor on it were the Manor brothers doing bouncer duties. That place.
No, they were at the Golden Tacky. This thing called Club Bananas. That turned into that was down the other, and it was So that was, and then they went to Central where they had another nightclub. Okay. But it's very, but Ricky Manor.
Yes.
So Ricky Manor, he only had one girlfriend, and he married her, and she was my neighbour 2 houses away from where I grew up. And they're still in Pretoria and married to
Because
Gino.
I see Barbara's online. Just cycle through some of these comments here quickly before we quickly. I see Barbara says Nanacha. Yes, Nanacha's the one. And then Fires, my nerves are gone. Dakes is now on a roll. We're going to be a 3-hour show.
I told you we could be all nighter here. But we're not talking cricket, Fires. We're not going to speak cricket. We're
much cricket.
We're not going to talk cricket. We're going to carry on because we're carrying on about my career. That's what he told me I'm going to stick to.
There's Taryn Light, there's Norman Light, and Taryn. Son Jonathan still doing the cricket bat you gave to him.
We do the firm there. We do a project. I do a project where I've got a friend, Craig Austin, who plays one of those warmer cricketers, you know, and still playing cricket. Can you believe it? Plays for Zimbabwe under. I think he plays under Zimbabwe under 60s or something like that. Craig.
Okay.
Goes and bowls at the VP nets and stuff like that. Craig,
nice.
Great mate. My golfing partner.
Okay.
He's myself and Craig. Versus the late John Pearson and Mark Atkinson. That was Easter weekends and
full ball,
regular full
Lekker.
ball. But so they play cricket. So I donate cricket bats to schools. Craig fixes them up beautifully, pads, boxes. Beautiful. He finds them all over the show, the thrift shops and everything.
Yeah, you can find
it. He cleans them all up or whatever, and then he gives them. Then I get them, and then I've just done. We've done a lot. Them. Yeah, I've just sent the last set out for distribution to basically the disadvantaged schools, but also we identify them.
Excellent.
He didn't have a cricket bat.
I've got a couple of small ones I can from my boys that I can definitely give.
Well, that's where you get them from. They're lying around in the garages.
Exactly.
And nobody's using them. And if you want, I'll give you Craig Austin's number because Craig will be around you like a shot.
Okay, excellent.
And then you'll get a before and an after picture after he's finished refurbishing it.
Lovely.
So you'll get a new handle on it. You'll get taped up. No, Craig does a proper job. Okay, so that's what Craig does. Anyway, that
for Bob.
So for Friday night was Bar Bonanza. Yeah. Okay, Saturday I play Premier League cricket starting at 10 in the morning. Okay, Saturday afterwards first I played at Old Grey for the first season, then I played at UPE for the next 2 seasons. Okay. So
there was a Gavin Cowley first.
So when I came back from the army, Gavin Cowley said to me, "Guy, you're not gonna." You don't want to go there with those guys. There's Tim Shaw, Dave Richardson, Tim Lotz, Dickie Ogilvie, Jimmy Furstenberg, Tim Seaman, Dale Robinson, you name it. They're 40 oaks here that play. Come and play. He's very convincing, Davin Cowley, you know. Come and play here for Old Grey, and then, you know, you can hover between the first reserves and the first team. Okay, that first team at Old Grey was still powerful. Keith Reed, Gavin Cowley, we all other guys like that.
I think Fires was warmer at that time.
Fires was warmer. He went to Union as well.
Okay.
So Fires had gone to Union, I think, at that stage. We was about to go to Union. So Gavin said, "Come play at Old Grey in reserves," which was a great decision to make because then I got into the into that vibe. But Gavin would look after you. You know, it's like it's proper. So but the first time I met Gavin Cowley, Gavin was I was in junior school. At grade junior, and at break time we'd go to the tuck shop. And then, you know, after you'd finished off your bovril or your fish-based salmos and tomatoes, you go to my mother and father say, you know, look, you can have 5 cents or 10 cents and you get yourself one of those Brito's donuts, those long donuts.
With the cream in it.
Oh, the sweet cream and the jam on it, or the
and a steri stumpy.
Oh, and a steri stumpy. You know, so that was you could. But now my problem was that I like those donuts.
Okay.
So when it got to you finish school now. And now you're going to start like cricket practice or something, or tennis or whatever I was doing. But the first thing I'd do is I wouldn't worry about it. I'd run to the tuck shop to see if I could get a second one. After school.
Right.
And then 9 times out of 10, when I got there was a disappointment because now we sold all those donuts out. So I asked the lady once. I said, "Listen, do Britos deliver those donuts to the high school tuck shop?" So she said, "Yeah, no, they go there as well." So I said, "No, magnificent." So I tried to say to a mate of mine, "Okay, if we can buy one there." He said, "Are you mad? Those oaks there with our short pants on and that station, they're going to kill us, those oaks there. You're not allowed to go to the high school. It's out of bounds, whatever." So I said, Well, I'm going.
Yeah.
So I traveled across to the high school tuck shop, and as I walked into the tuck shop there, the high school was on break, the matrics and that. And then I realized I'd made a mistake, and I should have listened to my friend, So I tried to start they're all looking at you. Like, who's this little punk now that's arriving picking to our tuck shop?
Yeah.
Who's this idiot with his short pants on, his short pants, with junior school and his socks? So I started backing out of the place, and Gavin Cowley was then not in matric, he was in Standard 9, but he might as well have already been in matric the way the other oaks. He just came over to me and he said to me, what do you want? I said, no, I ordered one of those donuts. He said, you got your bucks with you? I said, yeah. I said, just sit to the oak at the front, the matric. He said, listen, add a donut to your order and then come over and you'll get paid and bring it to this oak. So that was Gavin. And then I remember Gavin, I got to the high school.
Yeah.
And they used to all the grades 8s and up, 6s, and then they would say, okay, you're going to all the houses, Thurlow, Vipin, Noakes, and Johnson, 4 houses.
Right, yeah. Well, they're still the same now.
Not all the same. They must be. No, the grade doesn't change traditional. Grade's traditional. It's not like VP. They don't just change houses and stuff like that. No. I'm convinced they and Meredith and Way were the 2 boarding houses. Okay. And then the guys, and so I just sort of thrown, off to Vipin and that.
Yeah.
Carly saw this. No, you're the donut man. No, you come to me. I'm head of Noakes. He was a matric now. No, just seconded me out of there and put me in Noakes.
It shows you there.
Straight away. With a friend, with a guy, John Turner's house and friend. So anyway, that was my job was, so it was Friday night at the bar, Saturday cricket, Saturday night shower, drinks and stuff after the cricket. And then with my cousin Grant and another chap, Stephen Jeffries, his brother, the Springbok bowler, Rob Jeffries, who we called Foul Jeffries. And then people like Rory Steer and these kind of guys. We met up. So then it was a hard session on Saturday night. Yeah. Wherever the action was. So, and then Sunday morning was a bit of a DOS. Because you were hammered a bit. Yeah. You were hammered if you were East American or Angela's till the sun came up.
Yes. Or each country.
Each country, and or Angela's in Ring Street there, which Jennifer Hudak.
10 rand pasta.
Yeah. Hey. We didn't know that. All we got was Irish coffees or Dom Pedro. That's your choice. No liquor license. And you
really?
Yeah, that's all you. And the same as this, Irish coffee or Dom Pedro.
Okay.
So. We would wind it up at 5 or 6 in the morning, but then on Sunday a lie in, and then often after that we would meet a whole lot of us. Derek Bronze, E.P. Flower, Slop Breedsky, brother Dick Breedsky, Howard Robertson was the first team. Howard. All of us would meet at Byron's house down in Kalani Road, and then we would. 3 things would happen. There would be a portable pool there that we could swim in. That's one that's ones out of the ground bar in there. You had a small little front patch like that where you could play cricket.
Yeah.
And the other oaks that didn't want to do that could fly kites and have a kite flying competition. And we did that and the entrance fee was a case of beer.
Oh.
Otherwise, you not allowed in. You have to bring a case of beer. And then we would carry on from there. And invariably from there, we would probably end up at the Old Grey Club. And from there, we would end up at the El Cid where Tomo would be singing.
Yeah, El Cid across the road from Pizza Palace.
On a Sunday night. And then we would leave the El Cid very late. So that was a heavy weekends. That was the general tone of the weekends. And in winter, where there wasn't cricket on, there was the social hockey on at Old Grey and stuff that I used to play. The Old Grey All-Stars. They had the Pirates Buccaneers.
Yes.
But the Old Grey All-Stars.
Yeah, Westview, Westview there.
The Pirates were in Westview Drive, for their place, and they would play there, the Buccaneers. But we would be the Old Grey All-Stars under the astute leadership of Rory Steer.
Okay.
I think he was our captain, He just walked around with his stick telling everybody what to do and shouting and doing nothing. That was Rory. And so we would have wonderful times. As I said, clubs in those days were proper, and you would play the warmer guys and all the other dudes in that. Okay.
Were you studying at the same time as?
I'm doing
so you're GPE.
I'm doing a 3-year B Juris. Okay. And at the same time, the guys in the law faculty, Tony Mercer, who ended up doing articles with me at Pagden's, he ran a little bit of recruitment, and I did another job. Yeah. Quickly on a Friday. Yeah. On a Friday, I would go to all the engine petrol stations in PE through to Kariga, and you pull up, and the guy would come to the car, and you would have to rate him on, have he asked you You'd have to greet you first, and then you have to ask you if you could wipe your windscreen. And you could do
Yes.
this.
Okay.
And you rate, and if you did well, you
So
gave
service level.
Yeah, so you asked me, you came there and said you're on $5 petrol. Okay, and you held your 5, 10 rand, no, but you didn't have to fill up every time. But you made as if you were going to fill up. And then he would ask you, okay, sir, and sir, would you like to wash your things? And they had this thing that they had to do, an evaluation.
All right.
So then you rate the guy.
So you did that.
So I did that now. So then if the guy does well, you give him a 2 rand note. You know,
Okay.
2 rand note. Okay. So they got me this job and to do this as well.
All right.
The run, but that wasn't like a Thursday.
Okay. So that's the holding company for all these petrol stations.
Yeah, so I do every engine on a route, all the way out here to Uitenhage, dispatch, back all the way back to P and do that. But the problem, and I liked that because this was easy bucks in there. But the problem was my car was still known by all these bucks. So when you get to the petrol station, they come running, you know. 4 of them, they pretend to go through the whole scene, and they just want that $2, you know.
Yes, of
You've got to eventually fighting one another over the $2, you know. So that was, we did that. And then I did one of my best jobs. I became a fidelity guard.
No way.
Yeah, a fidelity guard. So Tony
Jeez.
organised fidelity guard. And
Isn't that dangerous?
listen, it was the most incredible job in those days.
Days.
So I'm now we're now talking 1980, 81, and 82. So if you can believe this, I would finish varsity at lunchtime on a Friday, okay, and I would drive down to the Fidelity Guards HQ, which is in Grahamstown Road.
Yeah.
I walk in there, and then with my jeans and my T-shirt and whatever that on, all I do is I pick my revolver off the hatch, put my revolver on it. They never asked me, "Can you shoot this? Do you know that it's got bullets in it?"
Yeah.
They never asked me that question.
Yeah.
I just said to me, Mike Viviers, I remember him, great Dakin, and Tommy, they were the control room.
Okay.
There's your stuff.
Vat jou goed, they'll say.
Put the gun on.
Go.
Gave me a trommel this big, filled with the pay packets with notes in it for the whole Ford mainline in Struendale.
Jeez.
And I'd bought at that stage, my wheels consisted of buying Gerald Friedman, the lawyer's mother's Volvo, who were immigrating to the US. And it was one of those old box white Volvos. I bought it from her for 250 rand.
Boxy, but good.
No. She put her dogs in the back seat and around that car that it stunk to the day that I got rid of it. But she had dog hairs. You could try to vacuum that car, you'd never get rid of it. But I had wheels. And that big Volvo boot, I put, Gerald was also studying, he was a lawyer as well. So he was a couple of years ahead of me. Now when I wanted a car, he said, "Man, no, I've got my mom's heading into the States."
Yeah.
I thought you had a good deal. It was $250. Okay.
She's like,
So I think I just gave it to me and felt sorry for me.
yeah.
But anyway, I loaded that kit in, and on my own, I would drive to the main gate of Ford, and they would open the gate, and they were waiting with a trolley like this tea trolley there, and I would put that thing on, and I'd walk around that whole thing from the paint shop to the body shop, and I would pay every oak out there, and he would sign for his packet. And that was on my own.
Yeah.
And then I got a promotion from Tony. He said to me, he and Patrick Scott, also Patrick's an advocate.
I remember Patrick Scott.
Patrick's
Yes,
a fantastic Patrick Scott.
And his wife.
They went to Scotland.
They were in the Caledonian
100%.
band. Yeah.
So fantastic oak, wonderful advocate and great guy.
Good guy.
Yeah. So they said they were in charge of the student recruitment of this. So they said, listen, we tired now. We now LLB at the end. We're promoting you to doing the pay booth at Firestone.
Oh.
Okay, so that meant you didn't have to walk around the whole factory. You could sit in the pay booth. Now all the oaks came. All the guys came to you now.
Cash. You all pay in cash.
Cash, you open it, 2 rand notes, 5 rand notes, 10 rand notes, 20, whatever it was, in cash.
Holy moly.
Okay, and the guy just signed on a little slip, and you kept all the slips.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same story. You went on the Friday, you collected your tin, but now you went to Firestone and you put in the booth, and there were 2 ladies that used to help be waiting there. That they used to second from wherever to help you pay out, because there were a lot of oaks now. They came fast, these oaks in the queue.
Yes.
But the story that I wanted to tell was when I went to the army and we're doing our basics.
Yeah.
It was myself and Lindsay Cowley, Gavin's brother.
Yes.
And
somebody tagged Gavin Cowley as well while you're here as well, dude. I see Barbara's tagged Ricky Manor as well.
Yeah,
we'll have some stories with Ricky.
So between us was a guy from Algoa Park. His first name was Dani. He was Afrikaans. And I mean, it was an absolute shock to Lindsay and I, because you just got in the bungalow with anybody, you're doing your basics. Okay, so my bed's here, in the middle is Dani. And on the other side of him is Lindsay. Because Dani just went to that bed, so Lindsay just went to the next bed. We wanted to go and like lie next to him. Dani got, the first night that he got there, when he got to this bed, I mean, he just arrived with his kit. He came with nothing. We came with trommels, and we had, he had nothing. He just came with what he left PE with. Yeah, that was it. And he came the first night now, and we are often now still going to 40 people in a bungalow, as they call it, on both sides with your customer. And Donnie we all went off to brush our teeth, and Donnie just took his out and put it on his table. Both of them, top and body, just put them on the table there, Donnie. But he was about 6'4", and he was strong, properly strong. And we used to converse over him, try to, and he only spoke Afrikaans. He didn't speak any English. He had 2 Engelsmen next to him. So then he said to us one day, listen, I said to him, I was bitching. I said, Lindsay, you can go on a Thursday. The tuck shop's opened at the mess. You can go and get a crunchy. And I mean, you're dying for this now. We're suffering. A crunchy. And I said, but Lindsay, there's no ways I'm getting in that queue that goes around the whole bungalow, 60 whatever. I tried it the first time. You're in there for 2 hours in that queue before you can get a crunchy. Okay, and even though I'm buying you one, I've done it once and I'm not doing it again. Queuing. And Donnie said, Engelsman. Ek sal die crunchies vir jou en die chocolates vir jou gaan kry in dit. Gee my net die geld. And we handed it to him, and he just toddled off, and he was back in 5 minutes. He just went to the front of the queue, and no one argued with us. No one argued with him. And he just became, then he became, like, how could he help us out? Oh, great. And all we had to do, though, we had to help the outer show how to make a bed. He couldn't make a bed. No, we had to show him to help make his bed. Otherwise, he would have been running around with poles the whole time around the DB. No. So our deal of the bargain was that at least we could get him to show him how to make a bed and help him get off done. And I mean, you have to get on a Sunday, you're ironing all your clothes. I mean, Donnie just looked, He didn't even know what an iron was. We helped him out like that. So
I see Rory's tears also. That comment up there.
Rory's legendary.
He says there, go chopper, fabulous detailed attorney and a great honourable man, proud to call a friend.
Rory and I go back a long time. Rory told me we moved into a townhouse together in Villa Bellissima that my brother built with
Villa Bellissima.
Villa Bellissimo.
Bellissimo.
Villa
Bellissimo.
We moved in over there. We moved in over there, and Rory was a couple of units down. He also moved in, and I was chatting to him, and Rory at that stage was trying to sell businesses. He was selling businesses, an estate agency kind of thing. And he owned a petrol station with one or two oaks next door to where the BLC offices are at 4 Cape Road.
Where the spa is.
When it was a Renault dealership and stuff. So he bought that petrol.
He's watching on a BA flight. He's flying between London and Chicago.
So my stories, we're sitting one day there, and I said to him, Rory, you've got this thing. What do you want to actually do? He says, you know what? I want to travel. I want to go places. Well, he's done the world about 10 times at this stage.
He's already flying now.
Exactly. So that is exactly the point. And I often say to us, Rory said he wanted to fly. I mean, he's taken it to the extreme. He's never anywhere but in the air anymore. Whenever there's a plane going somewhere or there's going to a destination, he's either in New York or he's here, whatever. And I think Rory, if he counts out how, I would love to know from Rory. In fact, he must do that.
He was asking, well, you can tell us now. He's watching live.
He must work out how many kilometers he's flown in the air. Look, I think he flies for free now, actually. I think he must have so many points. He must fly for free. Must be by now. Anyway,
unbelievable, Rory.
So look,
what are you doing? What are you going to do in Chicago, Rory? What do you let us know? What you do in the comments?
Scheme over there.
Tell us, Rory. Would like to know. Let the people in PE know what you're doing. Man.
So, to get the long story short, I scratched my way through my B Juris degree, which was I changed from my B Proc, my 4-year degree. I thought I'd get clever now because I heard that you couldn't become an advocate if you hadn't had that degree.
So the Juris you need.
But I must tell you, I'll just go back a little bit. Michael White.
Yes.
A very clever guy.
Somebody tag him as well, Michael White.
Michael White was, you always get the top 2-3 O's at school. Those kind of
he was sharp.
He was one of those.
Yeah.
So, as I said, he pulled in at the back of the class. He's only about 17 years old now, and he's just matriculated the year before 16, and he hasn't shaved yet. Okay.
Yes.
And Michael White comes there, and he signs up for 5-year articles with Daryl Berman Sachs, Cancel, giving Berman Cats. Yeah. So he signs up to work and do a 5-year article or apprenticeship, and at the same time, he signs up for a 4-year B Proc degree. And Michael would go to work in the morning under his article, do all his court work and everything. Then he would rush to class, sit in the class, do his stuff, rush back to North End to work again, rush back to the varsity again, and do his work. So he wasn't a student.
To try and do it at the same time, like compress it in.
Yeah, because that's how he was, Okay. So when he says that he was the youngest qualified attorney in South Africa, I think he still holds the record.
Wow.
Okay? As to be the youngest. And then Michael and I were, when we started, which was then Loon & Conlon, we were partners. We worked for a while together. Now, so it was very different. Okay. Although, and then Michael, his desk.
Yeah.
We all had, lawyers with traditional desks and side cadenzas and stuff where you put your files and all of this stuff.
Desk, yes.
Now, Michael had a glass desk, just a glass desk with glass legs.
Yeah.
And his black chairs, matching chairs in there.
Okay.
And very little else. And that was, Michael was going to be different. It's not going to. He wasn't going to have a traditional wooden desk or anything like. So he had a glass desk. I mean,
fancy, extra fancy.
To bring him all the bonds over there to sign. He's like, sign him on a glass desk. He'd have to find pieces of paper. He's going to sign now on the glass. It's not so nice. So Michael, I mean, I think Michael had qualified as he's a qualified conveyancer. And one of his ladies, Gerald, then Michael left and went to start at Lex Icon, his own practice. Okay. Her first job was with Michael, and she retired with her job at Michael.
She was.
So Michael and I, we still. I enjoyed his wine journey because you can work it out.
The wine is amazing.
You become an attorney and stuff like that, which is paperwork and just your life is one of papers and that. And Michael White decides to go and buy a wine farm. And it's, it's just an industry. It's like, I think it's like racehorses and stuff. You can just lose money.
I know. Okay? It just hemorrhages money.
And he's going down to that Western Cape there with those. Where you're dealing with Elgin Burger and those people, and you're dealing with people that are vested that come there.
They're from there.
Inherited farms there. And Michael White, getting down there now to go and do that. And I mean, his knowledge of wine and what he's achieved, to win awards and to go, it's actually incredible. It's an incredible.
No, he's done really well.
That's Michael's attention to detail in that. You see when he does that.
He did a great interview here as well.
It must have taken a hell of a lot to do that U-turn and go down and leave where you're in a zone where you was okay.
That's an interesting thought that as well. I just want to see Rory's coming there, says on business trips. Have a bioscience company. My word, what the hell, dude? A bioscience. So that's making everything green. I would think. I was like, is that or is that? I don't even know what that.
Listen, Rory Steer.
Yeah.
He likes Jeff. Because he also believes in the University of Life. He tried to go to Rhodes. Okay?
Yeah.
And apart from being a damn good bridge player.
Oh, yes. Contract bridge.
He was pretty shit at everything else. So he spent his time. Ask him now. He went in there. He also wasted his parents' money.
Oh, he did?
Because all he would do is that whenever there was a school going.
Yeah.
On some sort of game activity with cards or this and that, then you'd find Rory Steer there.
A bit of a gambling
No, he just...
Or competitive thing.
Yeah, social.
Yeah.
And in that res of his cards, I think he's still got mates that went to Rhodes and that, because he probably kept in touch with them. But that was his... I don't think... I would love to know what he went to.
I see with Rhodes. I always think Rhodes, they smoke a lot of weed in Rhodes.
No, but so when I got to the end of my B Juris, I had a massive stumbling block.
Oh, yeah.
Because my change wasn't so clever, because I was never going to become an advocate, really. Mm-hmm. And now you had to do an LLB degree for 2 years.
Okay.
But now you had to pass Latin 1.
Oh, Latin. But your English teacher, I know what he said about you.
Well, my Latin teacher,
Yes.
Barker, who was the first team rugby coach.
Said you must read something
No,
intelligent.
he said he wrote, he standard 6 I did Latin.
Yeah.
And he said, I think he might have he did okay, but he made many stupid errors and misunderstood what he was interpreting. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I gave up Latin in standard 6. That was the end of that one. But when I went to NMU, which is UPE then, you did preliminary Latin.
Okay.
So that you got 3 sets of books, orange books, blue books, and whatever, as they got a bit harder.
Okay.
And so you did preliminary Latin.
All right.
And I had an advantage because I could remember my Masamat from school.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
a few things. So I knew verbs and a
Yes,
bit of an
yes,
advantage.
conjugations and whatever,
Knew a little bit of the stuff, So I passed it, comfortably, sitting there,
All right.
and I'm very disciplined at attending all my classes, and then staying there till lunchtime.
Yeah.
Okay, and then going to the library during my lectures and working.
Yeah.
I've got some people that said they will help me. Okay,
Yeah.
get through this morass of paperwork and files. So it could work. So that all ended well, and I squeaked through with my 50+1
Yeah.
through my 3 jurors. But now I had my problem because I had Latin.
Yeah.
1. And now there's no ways I'm going to pass Cicero and all this stuff. There's no flying chance because that was the maker in law.
Okay.
Latin was the holy grail. If you wanted it, just guys was like, I'm going to do law. I'm going to do Latin 1. No, I'm not doing law anymore.
Yeah.
That just
Okay.
that was it. Now
that was the stumbling block, or the thing that was most people worried about most.
So I was in trouble.
Okay.
I was in trouble. But then I started looking around.
Yeah.
And then I found Rhodes University. And Rhodes University had ditched their Latin 1.
Oh.
And they replaced it with a thing called...
There we go. Latin was easy for the cleverest Dakin boy, says
No,
Tomo.
yes,
Tomo's online. I see there.
And they ditched Latin, and they had Latin for lawyers.
Okay.
And I did some further research, and I found out that they had the same books, the yellow, the blue, and the green, that they had for my prelim Latin at NMU.
Yeah.
They had at Rhodes.
Okay.
That was Latin for lawyers.
So
Now
same
I
one.
use in. So then Dale Robinson, who was doing law there, and Dave Goldberg said, no, what have you? I said, I found this out. So they said, well, shit, we come into Rhodes as well. so we transported.
They moved to Rhodes.
Yeah. So we all moved to Rhodes. Okay.
Wow,
And now
really?
listen. Now from this fairly Calvinistic, strict university I was at.
Afrikaans.
Okay,
Yeah. Calvinistische.
yeah. And it was an interesting story because these guys above me, Tony Mercer and Patrick Scott that we spoke about, they were like fun with Gerald Friedman and that.
Okay.
In order to get us to ditch the jackets and the ties and all of the stuff and wear short pants, we boycotted. They had a 3-month boycott of poor Candace Lingerus, who ran the kraal, where you got all your food.
Oh, yeah.
So we refused to. So these law students set up a table with coffee and scones and rusks and biscuits and everything, and they put a donation tin there.
Sold it there.
And poor Ken at the end got so distraught that he would take the sandwiches that staff had made, they would just throw them outside the door on the pavement and say, just help yourselves and take it away. And this eventually, the VC at the top of that big building cracked and said, you're just going to discard the jackets and the ties and the things like that.
Wow. Okay. So it was actually that.
So look, there was no burning of trees and throwing petrol bombs.
So you toyed in your own way.
No toying or anything. It was just orderly set up, manner thing, organize it. And it worked like clockwork. And everyone loved it. The whole varsity,
of course,
came to the law students. Those LLB guys set up a station there. Okay. Anyway, we get off to Rhodes University. It was like heaven. I mean, you go from a structure at UPE to that.
Okay.
That was proper.
English University as well.
Oh, now it's like mini Oxford. You walked in. But now because you're walking around there now, and you've got Guy Butler walking across the road, coming and teach an English class, and it's like, that's Guy. Who's that? No, that's Andre Brink.
Yeah.
I mean, these kind of dudes. Okay. So anyway, I clock in for my LLB there. Now you got your own law faculty there. It was so organized that each guy had his own cubicle and desk next to the library for himself, where you could put your stuff in. Apart from going to the lecture classes. At 11 o'clock, when it was tea time, the pot of tea and the stuff would be out for the LB students. Nice. And the guy laid out on the grass, they laid out a full croquet set where you could play croquet. So you punted the croquet around.
Oh, how very,
I mean, this was like, I just couldn't believe this.
Super colonial.
100%. And the guy, the guy was there serving you, and and when you finished, you go pack up all the croaky stuff and get ready for the next day's scenario like this. So it was incredible. So now, to cut a long story short, I get fortunately for me now, I get a lot of credits from this B jurors. That's the other thing I worked out.
Okay.
So the rest of the poor buggers in the LLB class have got like 6 or 7 subjects in their 4th year, but Robinson, myself, and Goldberg, we've only got like 4.
Yeah.
But we got Latin is the 4th one. We've got 3 subjects and 4, but these other poor oaks have got more, but they give us credits. Anyway, I reckon and it wrote, in 2 years that I was in my LLB, I never wrote a test in my life. I never wrote a test, I never did a thing. All you had to do was you had to pitch to that great wall and write your end of the year exams on your whole year's work.
Wow.
So
one go.
One go.
That's quite risky.
3-hour exam, one go. That's it. And that's it.
How scary is that, actually?
Yes. Now listen, final year law, so I'll get to that now.
Yeah.
So I had a brief, now I'm in full flail with cricket, and it's Monopoly twice a week. Monopoly, we're a Monopoly crew.
Really?
Play Monopoly with a 5-litre cellar cost.
You're one of the 3% of that's actually finished a game of Monopoly in your life.
Listen, we had Monopoly games there that was such serious stuff that it was watched by people.
Really?
Okay, because I couldn't play bridge and Monopoly and backgammon.
No way.
Okay, that was like Thursday written off. And then it didn't get any better because I'd only been there for 2 months, and I got this letter in the post. I was going to bring it to you. I actually found it from the invitation from the League of Gentlemen to join the League of Gentlemen Club.
League of Gentlemen? What's that?
And the roads had what they called them. They're drinking clubs, but they called the League of Gentlemen, the Bumbles.
Oh yeah.
I've got to remember.
Volkhof.
No, not as bad as Volkhof. No, we didn't have those rituals.
Right.
No, our rituals, but you had you were invited by thing to come in, and I mean, but the League of Gentlemen. So every Friday when we went to lectures, the 12 or 14 guys that were in the League of Gentlemen, you wore the League of Gentlemen tie with the top tails and things that are tie, purple tie, and you wore suit.
Jeez, like
every Friday.
Okay.
You went to lectures, whether you were doing biology or law or whatever. You wore your
League of Gentlemen.
You wore suit with the League of Gentlemen tie.
Okay.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because all these clubs cooperated.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they had the one club. They had a gambling evening. No, the gambling was not allowed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No gambling. No fish of a sun. No nothing. No gambling.
Yeah.
They had it at the Rhodes Memorial up on the hill there, in the centre, that big centre.
Okay, yeah.
The one club, the Carnations or whatever it would have been, they put up a gambling evening there with roulette wheels, with blackjack, with a whole toot, and they invited all the judges, the magistrates, and the head of police from Grahamstown. Mickey Jennett, Judge Mickey Jennett, Judge, all of them.
Yeah.
And all the club oaks were there.
Yeah.
And they shut the door, locked it.
It's like what do you call those? Speakeasy.
And all the judges, they were all in on it. They couldn't leave. They couldn't say anything. No one could get prosecuted. No police could arrive because the chief of police was there. And it happened year after year in that time. It was a closed call thing.
Grahamstown.
And that's what happened. But anyway, so I get there now and I clock in for and I've got Latin, but now there's no way I'm going to Latin class.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know where it was. Didn't bother even going. I had my books still from.
Right.
I didn't have to buy the books. I had them from UP.
Same from UP.
Just packed them out. So I fiddled around for the year. We played all the cricket and messed around. Get to and I'm going to go and write my Latin exam. I'll go there and write my Latin exam. And I picked up the books a day or two before and I looked at. And I'm pretty happy with the exam paper. It's out of 100, and I'm like, this is a breeze, it's cruise, man.
Yeah.
And we go to play intervarsity cricket. We go in the SA Varsity Week. We go to Johannesburg. And I'm playing there, and I was very friendly with the Zimbabwean Dave Lake. Yeah. And he opened up bowling. Okay. He's the only guy in our class of 14 graduates. To show you how many people graduate, to make that cut that I'm talking about, there's 14 guys at the end of the day, and Dave Lake is the only guy that did it with distinctions.
Yo.
And let me tell you now, he played Monopoly with us every Thursday. He spent twice a week in the Vic Hotel. Okay. And he opened the bowling and he never stopped playing cricket until even in the final exams. We never bunked it, never missed a match. Opening it up. And he played tennis at Rhodes. as well.
And he still got A's for everything.
And he got distinctions. That's how clever that guy was. Okay? So, anyway, I say to Dave, Dave says, I'm going to phone Prof. So if what I cracked for Latin. Now, he's looking at distinctions.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to check with him cracked. So, because he knew the guys there and he knew them and so he had connections there. So I said to him, Dave, listen, find out what I got as well while you got him on the line.
Yeah.
Phones are okay. Yeah. And listen, I've got Dakin's also with me here at Rhodes. We also want to have a good week. What can he puts a phone down. He says to me, you failed.
Oh, shit.
I said, what? He says, no, you failed. I said, Dave, come on, man. And he pulled my leg. And we're going to have an ask. He says, you failed, guy. So here I am, into my final year law. We've got 6 huge subjects. Contracts, the big boys.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm tagging Latin on as a 7th subject.
Oh, no.
So with the first years there, I arrived to the Latin class in my 5th year at university.
Okay. Jeez.
And the guy says to me, I go up to
Never
the guy.
seen you.
No, I said the prof. I said, Prof, I'm Guy Dakin. I said, that my friend Dave Lake phoned you when we were at University Cricket and you told me I failed. I said, I can't believe it. Are you sure that I failed?
Yeah.
So he just looked at me and said, yeah, no, you failed. Eh? But I haven't, nice for you to come and introduce yourself with me now. Eh?
Yeah.
So I said, no problem. And I put a pretense in, but there were lots of them coming to university. So I attended the first 2 classes and then I ducked again.
Okay.
So now I go to write again, okay? And it's out of 100. And I write the exam, and I get to the last question, it's 20 marks.
Yeah.
And it's a piece of Cicero that he's put in there. And I just looked, no ways. This is too much for me. I can't handle this stuff. But I'm pretty confident about the rest. Okay. And realize now, I've told you all along in my varsity, okay, I'm going along. I'm a 50 plus 1.
Yeah.
You need 50 plus 1.
Yeah.
That's a
It's a
pass.
pass.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah. But 50% of 80 is 40.
Now I'm writing out of 80. So we go the next year, we're back at camp now. I said, Dave, I know you got Latin last year with your 80, whatever you got. Yeah. But phone the prof for me again, because I'm sweating this time. I missed out 20 marks. Yeah. And he phones the guy, and he puts the phone down. He says, you got 76%.
Jeez, like.
I said, it's impossible. I said, I only wrote out of 80. I've never written a test or exam in my life that I got 76 out of 84. Yeah. So the next year, I found out the next year, he cashed out of Rhodes and he went to KwaZulu-Natal University. But he either added up wrongly, or he just thought I'm going to give this oak a break. He played present. So Gino, the only distinction I've got out of 5 years of
Latin
is Latin.
Excellent.
Third time round.
Love it.
The same course. Same course. Once at NMU.
Oh, God.
Once failed in my 4th year. And a distinction in my 5th year.
We won't test you on the Latin. I'm also telling. There were Ian Walland. How's it, Ian? Nice to see you as well.
So John Walland was in my class for a while. The DJ that was on Radio 5 and all of that.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, and their father was a DJ as well. So all in the musical game. But Ian was a bit more good rugby player, a lifesaver, sprinter, athlete, really good athlete. I mean, he was now Cowley's year, elder than me. It's a duck.
Okay, slightly older, Ian.
Yeah, slightly older. But when I was at, I'll tell you another story about Gavin Cowley.
Yeah.
So we finished my national service, and Gavin is studying at NMU, but he's a bit later.
Okay.
So he's studying at UPE. So I get to December now, and it's time to. Gavin had left already. Gavin had left. He's finished. So it gets to the end of the year. So I'm not looking forward to now. It's 2 months of holiday. It's the whole of December and January. I only go back in February again. Yeah. But what happens? I get an army call up. I'm now seconded to UP military unit. So
because that's no longer a Bloemfontein.
So I'm seconded there. So now we off to the border to the Caprivi Strip.
Jeez, like okay.
But I'm now in the armored cars. I told you I did the armored cars. This is normal infantry.
Okay.
But Gavin Cowley gets called up with the guys.
Oh, geez, like okay.
The story about Gavin is they were based at a particular area, and we came down in the armored cars one day to visit them. And a guy said to me, I said, how's it going? Because Gavin is a bit older now than
Yeah.
So like, how's it going with Gavin now? You know, Gavin in the army was just he was just a troop.
Yeah.
No worries about. He could have been, but but he didn't bother with that. So they say, no, Gavin, no. Gavin went down. The Caprivi Strip borders the Conveyancer River. Proper river there.
Yeah.
So they got tiger fishing in the whole toot and that. But Gavin went down to relieve himself, and he was sitting down at the bottom there for a bit of peace and quiet from the oaks at the top, and he was sitting down doing his business.
Yeah.
And the oaks came down to him and told him, you know, Gavin, there were 3 of the locals that have come down there in the last few months, and a crocodile has taken each of those oaks. Gavin didn't even wipe the bum. He just pulled his pants up and he ran up. And they said he never went near that river again for the rest of the time that he was there.
Yeah.
Never.
No, just taking up. It's like the story of it.
But so in that camp, I was in Rundu, and a guy called Norman Riley, Cocker Riley, his brother, they all played at Old Grey, and he was working for SA Breweries. He was older, so he was also Armoured Corps. So the 2 of us went our separate way. We left the rest of the UPE military unit guys, and when we landed, we went straight through to Rundu, and we arrived at the camp, and we were supposed to meet up with we met up with some guys from Durban, armoured cars. And between them and us, so Norman was a lieutenant, and then I was a sergeant at this stage. So Norman got my armoured car, I got another armoured car, and we ended up with these Durban guys. I mean, the most slapgat oaks you've ever seen. You're like, all English guys.
They don't speak English.
They
speak Afrikaans.
No, listen, when we went out on patrol, I was nervous because those terrorists could have taken those armoured cars and everything back to Namibia with. I mean, to Southwest, to Angola. It was shattering. Anyway. What happened is, we're supposed to be there for 2 months.
Yeah.
So, next month we've got it was 3 months actually. It was December, January, and a little bit into February. It was a long time.
Yeah.
So, next month the Durban guys, they're packing up. And they said, where are you guys? I said, no, we out here. We're back to Durban. We finished our stint. Okay. But I said, look, we still got 2 weeks to go.
Yeah.
So I look at Norman. I mean, the 2 of us in 4 armoured cars, and there's no one coming. When the next house coming? No, we don't know. So the next house, then are these houses. But there's no place for us now. So I said to him, listen, there's those big aeroplanes, those flossies they call them, are landing there all the time, and the oaks are loading in
Hercules kind of
those
thing.
Hercules. So and the oaks are loading in Ovambas that have been taken out in action. They've got drips, and the guys got headbands and stuff, and so I get in there. So we climb in the plane with them. And I said, where are you flying? He said, no, we're flying to Waterkloof in Pretoria. So I said, Norman, here's our trip out of here. Here's our way out of here. Let's get going. So we get in the flossy with all these guys. And medics are helping these other trips and that. And we land at Waterkloof. And we land there, and I say, we walk into the little foyer there, and I say, we've now got our gear on, We've got our rifles and everything. We've got to take them back to EP Command to clock out. Okay. So I say to we walk in, I say to the first oaks, I said, now, listen, where are you guys going? So he says, no, we helicopter pilots. Okay, we're flying to Durban now. Okay. So I said, can we go with you? He says, no problem. But he says, look, there's a problem there. If you land there, you've got to go through the Transkei. And those are proper Transkei. With that gear on, you're not going to be alive. Okay, don't piddle around. All the mises down there. So we said, no, that's a bad idea.
Okay.
So we see a combi there. And we see all these oaks with majors and captains and stuff are coming out towards this combi from the entrance. So I said to Norm, let's just tag along with them, okay? We'll see where they're going. So we join in with them and climb in, and they don't really know one another, these guys. And they take us to the Army Hotel in the middle of Pretoria. They've got a hotel there that the Army owns. Jeez. I forget what its name was. And when they're clocking in here, these guys are clocking in for a course. Okay. So Norman and I clock in for the course with the receptionist. We sign out, put false names down there. Don't put our names down there. Okay? So we get given a key for a room and everything like that. Each got our own room. And we clonk into the hotel. And of course, these guys next morning, they're off to the camp. But Norman and I are lying in the swimming pool now. Because we've got a week to kill here now. We can't get back to it. So eventually it got ridiculous. And then eventually, we're sitting up there one morning. And now, when 12 o'clock, it's our first beer now, Norman. And the receptionist says to us,
Yeah.
We're having beautiful breakfast, lunch.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
We're
yeah.
in the house here now. The
Yeah,
arms
it's like
expense. And Norman said, this receptionist comes to us and says to us, Linda, your oaks are not on any course and your oaks are doing nothing. And she says to us, I said, no, so what else? I said, look, we've got, actually, no, you're right. I said, look, we've got to get back to
Epic Command.
You know, she says, no, I'll organise it, man. Don't worry. I'll sort out that's a first-class train ticket to go on the train. All the way to P. On the train.
First class.
And I'll arrange that the army vehicle here
Yeah.
takes you out to the Pretoria station and drops you off there and see you on your way.
Legend.
Yeah, so off we go.
Excellent.
So we come back here, but we're still a week too early.
Yes.
But we're collecting danger pay still, eh? We've got danger pay because we're in the border
For
now.
the hotel.
No, we're in the hotel. We're in danger pay still. So, which is good bucks, eh? I'm making a nice stash for the next year.
Okay.
And Norman and I hung out at home. And I said, I'll keep in touch with, I'll phone in here to my oaks at the command here, at the varsity. And I'll find when the rest of the oaks are coming in. Then we just blend in with them. Then we've arrived home as well.
Yeah.
They don't know where we are. And we did that. It's incredible.
Classic for the last week.
For the 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks of the army was classic. I love it.
Anyway, cut a long story short, I managed to get a degree. Okay. And I then went to Pagden's.
Okay, yes.
Because my dad knew Ian Anderson. He was also a big bowler, cricketer that. He said, my friend Ian Anderson, I'll speak to him to give you articles. Okay. So,
and Dr. Koch, was he there as well?
So Dr. Koch was a junior there, partner.
Wow, okay.
And it was Tony Hanley was still there, Roy Park and
She was.
So I signed up for my articles, and Dave Richardson's there. He signs up.
Okay.
Dave's there.
Dave as well.
Dave's there. Dave was we never saw Dave. He was playing cricket.
Yes, of course.
So that, I don't know. That Dave's clever though. So he still managed to pass his admission exams with learning part time on the sides. Dave's very sharp guy, very organised. And but I've got Tony Mercer. Remember I told you?
Yes.
So he's doing his articles, and Tony's different. Okay. So Tony's now. I've got him as an influencer.
Okay.
He's the second year.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, you got to. I get that. Listen, understand. I think I told you the family of salesmen and that. And I finished a 5-year degree. I've never been in a court in my life. I haven't been. I get there and they put me in an office. We're in the old Perm building in Main Street. All the lawyers were down there. I go to the Perm building. I get given an office there, and they put this thing down. I said, "What's this?" I said, "It's a dictaphone." I said, "What are you supposed to do with that?" I said, "No, you must dictate your letters to the secretary. Give them to the secretary. Put things in her ears, and you'll type it for you." So Tony starts showing me now how to work this thing. But it kind of, anyway, I clock in over there, and things go okay, and we're still in the LCID.
Okay. Yes.
We're still in the.
Yes.
I'm playing.
Going to see Tomo.
We're still going along with LCID. We're still going in that LCID. So what we go is one Friday night, one Sunday night. Sunday night was our big night. It's stupid. Now you're working. Rory Steers.
Monday.
Rory Steers there. Val Jeffries there. Yeah. And I go there one night with Sunday with Thomas playing whatever, and we're sitting at the table there. Sometimes they forced us to buy like a starter, but most of the time I was just drinking on Sunday night. So now Cecil Baderveld, Cecil Albert's brother. Now Albert and I also partners at Pagden's. I mean at Lunacon for many years. Now Albert's the senior advocate now. But we're sitting there, and we at about 12 o'clock, sillily, we decide we'll have it down. We get a carafe of wine each. We'll see who can drink it fastest.
Yeah.
Who can win? Rory must pound.
Jeez, like.
No, Rory wasn't there. Sorry, Rory was missing that week because I remember now why he's missing. No, Rob Jeffrey's going to time. So I said about that. But from there we moved off to the house that they were renting in Summer Strand. A mob of us, and we proceeded to end up having a gala there. And anyway, this thing went up till sunrise. We eventually got home at sunrise, but I couldn't get home. I was still staying with my parents at the bottom of the house. They tell the story. I had to park my car on the top of the place, and I just sneaked down. And I decided there was no point in sleeping. I'm not going to wake up. So I went and had a shower, and I got dressed and I went to work. But I arrived at Pagden's. I had to ask the security guard to let me in.
Early already.
Yeah. And eventually, then I squeaked into my office and I sat there. And all the guys started arriving, Doc, and it was on my floor. My principal was Philip Shaw, the late Philip Shaw. He was a fantastic guy, Philip Shaw. Played Pirates Hockey Club with David Gear, with Hogg and these dudes.
Gavin Hogg.
All these guys.
There we go.
So they were there. That was the game. Okay, that was what they were. And Philip Shaw was, look, he was naughty. He didn't. But he was a friend. Philip was, I suppose, that was a younger partner at about 40.
Okay.
Anyway,
she was.
I don't want to. That office was those big walls. It was cool. Next minute I started to tap on the shoulder like this, and I looked up, and then Philip was standing there, my principal.
Yeah.
I've only been there a week.
Yeah.
He says to me, I think you must go home. I'd fallen asleep at 8 o'clock on my desk and I'd slept till lunchtime.
Oh my word.
And so he said, I think you must go home now. You can have the rest of your kip at home. So I headed off home on that. And subsequent to that, we moved across the road to the Nedbank building.
Yeah, okay. The perm, where was the perm building?
It was on the opposite side of the road there.
Okay.
On the opposite side, the big old perm building.
Yeah,
Permanent Building
Nedbank.
Society.
So the Nedbank on the
Nedbank's on the corner of Chapel Street.
Corner and Chapel and
thing there.
thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Chapel Street. So we move across to that building, the modern building there.
Okay.
Occupied 2 floors of Pagdens. But now, you must remember in those days, all the senior partners and all the guys, full of them, and including me, you had to come there with either grey or black suit.
Okay, she was strict.
And a grey or black tie. There was like, and a white shirt. That was it. Because that was also what you were supposed to go to court in and all of that.
Yeah, what you'd fought against at UPE.
So, Tony Messer dared me doing his articles. And I pitched up on a Monday morning with a white shirt on with a pink collar and a pink tie and a pair
Proper
of
80s.
Base pants 80s and my white Jordan shoes on. With a rubber sole.
Jordan shoes.
Yeah. And I arrived to work and I sat down and there was a silence, okay? And I was on the floor we were 2 floors there, but the top floor was where all the old guys were.
Yeah.
And the bottom floor was my principal, Ian Anderson, in the corner, and Mike Nurse and Phil Shawnett. And they were like, okay, this is...
Okay. It's not right.
And then I made my tour upstairs. And I knew then that between the second... I mean, this was never... Anyway, they had a partners meeting.
Yeah.
And eventually they signed Tony Scott Parker, who's Jonathan Conlon's uncle,
Yes.
to deal with me on this gear that I'd arrived into the work. And he called me, summons me to his office.
Oh my word.
He sat
Looking like what, the soft shoes.
and soft shoes. And I looked like like those bands there in America.
Yeah, the soft shoe shuffle. What is that thing?
Joe. I'll remember his name now.
The guy, Jared was
Joe Jackson.
Oh, Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah. Because it was the big nightclub then was East America's also a big nightclub in those days. Okay. So I sit down, Tony, and it was not so funny now because I realized I might get fired here. And if I got fired there and I brought the name down, I went home with my arm and I think I've still got to hide it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was like, I realized now. So he says to me, Guy, if you wanted a loan and you went down to see the Nedbank manager downstairs and you had those white shoes on, you're never going to get a loan. You've got no credibility. I said to him, I guess you want me to come back to work tomorrow with my grey suit on? I think he says 100% correct. So it was incredible. And so that was the scenario then.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing how strict it was back then.
It was incredibly strict, but we had fun. And then I became a second year clerk, and then my first year guy that clocked in was Rob Parker. So now you've got the Parkers, now the rugby players.
Okay.
Henry Parker and Rowley Parker, all these bruisers. Okay. And they've got Rob Parker, who's still at Pagdens.
Okay.
And then you've got Warren Parker at JGS, Joburg Alpensville.
Okay.
And you've got Greg Parker at Travenstones. So the 3 of them are lawyers.
So do the law firms sort of keep in touch a lot and
Well, the early days were the best. Because we were in the Perm building at first, and we moved to the Nedbank building, and then right opposite in the United Building Society was Rushmere's. Colin Rushmere with all of them, Rushmere Noah. Okay. And then down the road was McWilliams and Elliott in the building. And then right at the end at the Standard Bank building near the library was Joburg Alpensville. Okay. So we were all there. So you walked around, you served the papers and one another, you went for lunch, you were there. It was camaraderie.
You help each other as well.
And it was fantastic.
So the competition between the firms.
So now, and I mean, law is very. We were taught early respect, and we had worked as colleagues, and it was very decent, okay?
It's James at Rushmore Noah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, America.
So
How's
they-
America?
Yeah. So they the rugby palmers come rat face. I mean, Rory, if you had him on the program, he'll tell you a wonderful story about Hamley Parker. I'll tell you 2 stories about that.
I've got to get James. Actually, we were talking about James a little while ago to get him on the show too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Hamley Parker, with the I don't before my time, I don't know.
Parkers,
but
yeah.
Hamley Parker went out on and had a good evening. He started the PE club in St George's in Bird Street.
Yes,
okay?
yes,
And they went
yes.
on, and they went out and something happened. I don't know. And they decided they had a mate that had come there to stay because they had some rooms in the PE club. You could stay there. Okay.
Okay.
And this oak had said he's not
Upstairs.
going upstairs.
Yes.
Up the steps.
Yes,
Right.
up the
There were the
up
rooms.
the stairs.
So they so they decided that their mates said they're not going out. He's not going out with them on to do whatever they
Okay,
intended
on the
to do.
town.
On the town.
Yes.
So Hamley Parker, I might not have the story 100% correct because I think Rory Steer told it to me and he might have exaggerated it. But they decided they knew that they said that they got the information that the oak was in room number 5 or 6 whatever. So they got in there late now, properly
Front.
and they had the car waiting with the driver down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they decided they're going to teach us oak a lesson. Their mate, they didn't want to come on them. So the oak was off duty. They got the key for the room at the bottom. They ran up the stairs and they opened the door and they got into the room and the guy was sleeping and they wrapped him up in his sheet, okay, while he's dossing. And Hamley was a monster, proper oak, front okay. And he just chucked the oak over his shoulder. And they ran downstairs and they chucked him in the boot of the car. And then they drove off to the next destination where they were going to carry on their party, thinking it's their mate.
Yeah.
When they got there, they opened the boot. It was a judge.
Oh,
They got the wrong room. But had the judge there. In those days, I mean, it was like, there wasn't a bigger crime then. They decided to open it up and this guy was like dazed. He'd woken up, he'd been bundled around in a motor car, wrapped up in a sheet. They got the wrong room. That
That could be the heck of a story.
Yeah. Anyway, that was not true. But speaking of that, Hamley Parker, I then joined the Lunacon, which is now BLC Attorneys.
Yeah. Okay.
And
And it's Gavin Loon. Is Gavin
Loon, Keith Loon, his father.
It's Gavin Loon's dad. Yes.
Yeah, so Keith Loon. It was Keith now. Sadly passed away. I mean, probably the best, top 2 commercial lawyer in South Africa in terms of mental sharpness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And very, very. I mean, just. Also a man that didn't have a degree, okay? He had a diploma eventually, but now that is how sharp he was. But his father, Reuben Loon, was also a lawyer. So when I joined there, Reuben would just be in the corner of a little office. Reuben was sort of coming with his tie and very prim and proper. And all that would happen is that Aldous Scribanti and these guys would come in to pick the horses for the next day, for the races on the Saturday. He didn't have to do any work.
He was just
Aldous
there.
Scribanti would just come in and then they would sit there and I was checking there, and I was very interested in this because it was myself, Michael White, and then in that section, Loon and Conlon were there.
Okay.
So I'm now working, and I get a call from Rory Steer, and he says to me, "It's my chance to bring a guest for lunch, and I'm picking you to come with me for lunch, and we're having lunch at just round the corner from you, at the La Fontaine."
La Fontaine, very, very smart.
With Victor and all of
Park
that.
Towers.
Victor Park Towers.
Yes,
La Fontaine, we're having lunch there. So
Beautiful.
I said, who's having lunch? Okay, he says, no, listen. We're having lunches from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Right? And the permanents are Hamley Parker, Lee, Coron, were a partner there with me at BLC, her father. And Dave Davies, who was his business partner. Now, they were 2 yacht club guys. Okay, that was bad news. Okay, Bill Lee. So we got Hamley Parker, Bill Lee, Dave Davies and me. We the 4 permanents.
Just Barbara's asking when this was the early 70s. I think we're talking about early 80s.
No, into the 80s now.
80s,
no, I'm not that.
Early 80s.
Yeah, no, 80s. We're into the 80s. No, we're now into 88. We're now into 89.
Okay,
That
all right,
1989
all right.
around
She
there,
was, okay.
1990.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were starting there.
La Fontaine was still going
La Fontaine,
there.
yeah. So it's my chance to be guest. Oh, and Ashley Parker.
Okay.
Ashley Parker was with
The
us.
other Parker,
That was a
right.
vet. So
Okay,
Ashley's with
right.
us, another great entertaining character.
Okay.
That, and it's my, you're coming because you might invite a guest this time, but Ashley's invited a guest. He invited on Monday. You had Trevor, on Tuesday we had Trevor Quirk, and we were at the beach hotel. And Trevor Quirk got so drunk that he couldn't commentate afterwards. So we went to the cricket ground to see what he would commentate like. Okay? So that was the guest, and so the guest, and I got the call it the Wednesday slot, Thursday slot. So I said, well, Rod, what time? He said, no, we get early, it's 12 o'clock. I said, no problem. I'm just work around the corner. I've got my car parked there, but I also live just down the road in Central, down in Whitlock Street, Havelock Street, Whitlock and Havelock Street. Down there, it's my pad.
Okay.
So I get there 12 o'clock. I sit down. Hamley Parker's actually the host. He's hosting this one. He says, that waiter comes and asks what he's got. He says, have you got stock?
Yeah.
He says, yeah. He says, look at the wine list. Looks at the wine list. He's like, have you got that bottle of red? And have you got stock? Have you got plenty of stock? He says, yeah. He says, okay, get a bottle each. So the guy comes back and cracks a bottle of wine each in front of us. And when we haven't drunk our first, he says, get another bottle each. So you can imagine what happened. We left there. We finally finished there. Well, and then I went with Rory and Dave Davies. It was a big mistake. And then Bill Lee came for a while as well, and he took us to the yacht club.
Oh dear, yes.
And we went from drinking this very expensive and nice red wine back to drinking quarts.
Ah, God.
And we sat there. And I remember Rory Steer dropping me off at Whitlock Street, and I couldn't get my key in the door properly to my flat. So I slept outside against the door. But I woke up in the morning and I got in. Now, I'm not generally a big drinker. So I get down with this. But like you get caught in the moment with these guys, and it was funny. And with those guys, it was funny. It was an experience.
Yeah.
And so I just had a shower. Yeah. And I walked from there back up to the office because my car was still there. I'd gone for lunch and I left my car there now for the night.
Yes.
And I pulled in over there, and again, I lasted a day over there. But I mean, that was how that's how.
No, just join it. But I love the way it's all everything's interlinked. So it's cool like that. And now I know we haven't got.
But Gavin Hogg, I rehearsed a bit and I checked a bit what was going on.
Yes.
I got nervous of you.
Gavin, yes.
I'm a bit nervous now.
Nervous of me.
Of you, you're scared you're going to come. I'm going to.
You're the lawyer.
I've got to see what this is all about. So I've prepped properly for this, and I've checked out how you work that. So a bit of a clip I watched there was Gavin Hogg, who talks about how he always would go on a tour and this, and he would always now try and take it easy, but he'd always go big on the first night.
Yes.
But he played for Warmer. Okay?
Yes.
And they were always like a bit of the underdogs, but with Dave Emsley as their captain.
Dave.
They were like mongrels, They wanted to punch above their weight.
And underdogs,
100%. So they always had and my good friend that does the cricket bats, Craig Austin was playing, and Headley's brother was playing as well in there. So they had a few decent players.
Well, I think Garth Webster also had a go at that.
They opened the bowling.
Yeah.
So he opened the bowling with Hogg.
Okay.
Hogg was, and Webster. He was part of the crew. And then, but the problem with that is that I was now playing at Rhodes, and they would come up to play us there, and because they had to come up to Grahamstown to play home there, because Rhodes played in the first league as well in those days.
Okay.
We played proper cricket.
Yes.
We didn't play the Pineapple League in the Port. Although there were some great cricketers there.
Yes.
Now, there were proper oaks there as well. Sean Long and all of those guys, and Laurie Wilmot and those dudes. They could play cricket. That era, and all those Emsleys. There's 20 of them there.
All the Emsleys.
They picked the whole cricket team, those guys.
And all the Emsleys.
The Longs as well. Sarge Long was in our team as well. Sarge, I don't know if he passed down at 8, but he was in our Rhodes cricket team because he was such a good cricketer. Okay, so he was in our team, Sarge. But these guys, Warmer, it was like taking candy from kids, because they would come up, they would arrive fresh there.
Yeah.
They would leave P at like 8 in the morning or past 7.
Yeah.
And they'd be there just in time for the start at 10 o'clock. But now what happened is they had to stay there for the night.
Yeah,
So they were proper the first time. They were full of aggression and
Yes.
shouting and screaming. Chris Kennedy and these guys jumping around, and again the Rhodes Oaks were playing them. And then they lost it on the Saturday night. When they got into the Vic there, they saw those Rhodes students and those females and that Achman. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
It was pathetic. They were so useless the next day on Sundays, as were many of the teams that came up.
Finished.
And the Rhodes guys.
So you had a secret weapon.
I promise you, the Rhodes guys. There was a guy there that opened up, that I found there. I became the club captain there, not the cricket captain, but the club captain. And there was a guy there was a guy there that came to a cricket bat, and when he came and just knocked around a bit, and I said to Dave Lake, "Who's that guy?" He said, "That's Alistair Travis."
Yeah.
And I said, "She said that guy can play cricket." He said, "Yeah, he's from Zimbabwe, from where I come from, and he was the top oak at the school."
Okay.
And I said, "How long has he been here?" I said, "No, it's like been here 3 years or whatever." I said, "And has he played cricket for years?" He says, "No, Christ, that's too much of he hasn't got time for that. He's too much drinking, and that is his game." And I spoke to Alistair Travis, and I said to him, "Travis, you can play cricket, eh?"
Yeah.
And I said, "But come to practice and play with us." Now, Alistair Travis, we came down and played grey. He made 200s in the same innings. And the only, there are very few people in league cricket at that time or whatever that have made 100 in the first innings, 100 in the second innings against grey. Alistair Travis was picked for the South African University side. He and Brian McLean, the left-hander, opened up batting. Both of them made the South African varsity side. That's how good they became. Okay. But Travis, when it got to the Saturday night and you got him at the Vic or whatever, you know what they would do? They used to wear feldscreens with no socks, the Zimbabweans. Well, the Rhodesians, as they call themselves, the Rhodies.
The Winwies. Yes.
Yeah, but then he would pull his side, they'd pull it off and they'd fill it full of beer and then they'd drink out of their shoes. Then they would pass it around, these hog guys and that. I mean, they were even like scared of these oaks.
Yeah.
But they were fine. It was just a normal night out for them. But for the warmer oaks, a few oaks could handle it, but it was tough.
Yeah.
On Sunday, when the sun came out on the Rose Infield, they weren't so strong.
Yeah.
And they all got sucked in, without exception.
I suppose it's easy to do when you're coming from a day boy kind of 100%. Mentality as well.
Yeah.
Well, but listen, we haven't got too much time left. I've got I see Marika's online there well saying how's it, and I love the army story, says El Marie as well. I see that too. And Ian Walland, such wonderful stories, he says there. And there's Philippa, next to you there's a thing with all the getting to know you questions. We've got a separate little section called getting to know you, and they're like couple of rapid fire questions. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But it has a look at your personality, kind of brings out a little bit of your personality as well. Down there, getting to know you. There we go. Up there. That's it.
Get to know all about you.
But a Julie Andrews carried through there. Okay, the biggest risk that you've ever taken.
Funny enough, I'm quite a cautious person.
Is it?
Yeah, quite a cautious person.
Yeah. Because you said, it doesn't seem you cautious if you take a cue because you take your job because you've got a cue that's less than the other cues.
but generally, the family got it wrong. I wasn't that clever, but I was cautious and could work out to become organized in a structured sort of way, and generally, if I applied myself to it, to do it well. But
you can make a plan, figure out things.
Yeah. But risk, if you want risk, then that's my brother.
Oh, really?
He's the risk. He doesn't care about risk.
But in law, there's a lot of it's almost like there's a lot of pressure. It's like you've got to get stuff done quickly. You've got to figure out a way through this maze.
Yes, but the thing is, what you've got to be more than anything is if you've got to be organised and stuff like that. So I've got I stopped doing litigation in a time, and then I moved over, but I still do foreclosure work for Standard Bank.
Yes,
I put a team in over there, and if you organise my team out of 50 attorneys that pull back houses for Standard Bank.
Yeah.
In this year in April, we were voted number 1 in South Africa.
Wow!
And the year before, they were number 2.
Yeah.
And so there's a high standard set there. The bar, in terms of the team.
Yeah.
and that's
pressure.
There's that pressure, you know,
Yeah.
and you know to achieve in that, and then the same in when you're doing liquor license. I took over from Ian Anderson, who'd been doing it for 18 years, and Ian, unfortunately, he had a stroke, you know, in his office. Okay, a very confident guy, and then went out and so I inherited and took that practice, and it was a testy time, and you know, built it into a proper structured thing whereby. Whereby I work, you know, it once has work across the whole country, you know, in terms of, but now with provincial liquor acts, I do it in 2 provinces, the Western and the Eastern Cape. But there again, you know, the standard that he kind of put into me and what I observed of him in the early days, I still maintain and want to do that standard and the work, you know. And
so the pressure's there, but you if you're organised, you're okay.
No, you're organised, you're okay.
Okay. Your biggest adrenaline rush?
Well, I had my biggest adrenaline rush. I'll tell you, it's a funny, it's a story. I know we're running out of time.
No, that's fine.
But I told you that I went down to gold mines and stuff like that. It didn't worry me in the slightest.
Okay.
And then what happened one day is I went to play golf, and I had this flat here in Whitlock Street, and I had a pantry with a door. Yeah. And I'd been dressed and I was ready to go to golf and organise, but I thought I'll just have something to eat. And when I went into the pantry, whatever I was, the door shut on me and I couldn't get out, and I was stuck in this door. And I got this first time I've got claustrophobia. Okay. And it was incredible. So eventually I kicked the door off its hinges to get out, obviously. But that fear of that. And now the one thing that I can't imagine being more fearful than being those guys that were sitting at that mine, that are sitting in a container, and there was a sinkhole, and they fell 40 meters down, and you're sitting in a trap. For me, that is the most terrible. I went to the Kanga Caves.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I went into the Kanga Caves to get to what they call that chimney.
Yes, the Devil's Chimney.
The Devil's Chimney.
Yeah.
And I had these 2 ladies in front of me, and I decided I'm going to go through this thing, and it got smaller and smaller that I was crawling in there. Yeah. And then they started saying, when they got to that post box thing that you got to sign through, she said, "Oh my Lord, we're never going to get through there." And they're only half my size. Oh, and I came around, then I started sweating. And then I thought, am I going to get through there? And I'm going to wonder what happens if I'm stuck in there? Does somebody come fetch me? No, then that was the end of that. We're going to go down there.
Adrenaline.
But I'd like adrenaline rush. And often with how I want to do it, I'd like to go and bungee jump off that Blowcrans Bridge.
Well, you're talking about Dave Mandel.
Yeah.
Dave Mandel going to one of those jets.
No, that's proper.
I've been there. I've been with Stu Davidson. I thought I was going to die.
No, that I would have liked. Not
G-forces.
Actually, not now. No, but if I was 40 or something like that, I'd love it. I wouldn't mind doing that.
There's a film of me. He filmed me. He did. I thought I was going to die.
No, I contemplated at Rhodes they had a parachuting club there.
Okay.
And I contemplated going up and do a parachuting club there, but so I went there to have a lookout operated, and they put you on a fixed line where you can jump out of that plane.
Oh, wow.
You're on a fixed and with a round.
Round.
Not the things you can steer and all that. Just some around.
They're just going to drop you.
But when I saw this, I hit the ground.
No, it's hectic.
No ways. The guys, they'll break my leg. No, I fall that off. But there would have been another one coming out of the aeroplane. I wouldn't mind that.
The worst job you've ever had? The cowboy one.
It was the smelliest, because it was all the smell of beer and stuff and cleaning up that bar afterwards,
smoke and
cotch and the puke and
Oh, that would be terrible. Yeah. Bar Bonanza.
I'll tell you, Bar Bonanza, the one a story that Goldberg and I were on duty there one night, and there was a well-known the rugby players. They fancied themselves when they were finished their rugby, and they come out, and then they would.
In a jaw.
Yeah, but
of course, cuck.
A little bit of that.
They frisky cups.
And I want to tell you now, he won't know that I was on duty. One night there was and when the altercation came, our manager was a chappie. He says, sit at the door. He's a big guy. He had a big long beard. He's called Sally. Okay. His name was Sally. Sally. He was in charge of Bar Bonanza.
Right.
And there were 6 of us behind the bar. And Sally said, if there's an incident, whatever, then you smash your hatches down and you jump over the bar, and all 6 of you oaks must jump on the oak.
At the same time.
On the oaks. All 6 of you must jump on the oak. And there was this altercation. And actually the Western Province cricket team were in there. Stephen Jeffries, and Garth LaRue was there. And Garth LaRue, he's big. Proper oak.
Yeah.
And this, well, he'll name names because he's got a family. But he's not with us anymore, unfortunately. So it's okay. He can't sue.
Yes.
But he went outside. And as we had the doors, the proper stage doors, that you batwing doors.
Yes.
And Garth went through because he said to the guy, "Listen, I've had enough of you now. I'll sort you out outside."
Yeah.
He's playing EP the next day. He's got a bowl.
Yes.
It's 2 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock at night. So as he went outside, this guy thought, "Okay, shit, Garth's serious. He's going to take it on." So what he does, he reached down for you had to leave your beer bottle. You're empty. You're not allowed to take it out. You had to leave it outside at the door. Sally said, "Stay there. Put that bottle there."
Yeah.
He picked the bottle up, and as Garth turned around, he hit Garth across the nose. And if you ask here Garth today, whenever I see Garth, I first look for that scar across his nose.
The nose. Oh my word.
Garth didn't like PE after that.
Oh, really?
He took a beer bottle across the nose. And I remember that, and it was cowardly. In what happened. And I'll never forget after that. We wanted to ban him. He got banned. He got banned for 3 months. Sally banned him. Okay. But after that, we came back. And he came back and caused nonsense again. We stopped picking on the oaks and bumping them and that kind of nonsense. And, and a little guy come into the pub, was sitting at the pub there. And he messed around with him and bumped him. And this little oak said, "Oh, I'll see you outside in the parking lot." And this guy said, "Sure." I saw this little oak. And they went out. And as they went out, he tried the same thing. He tried to get a quick one in. And this little guy just reversed a bit like Drickus does. And he hit him straight in the throat over here. And he went straight over the motor car. And he didn't move after that. We thought he's dead. And this guy was now triple kung fu black belt.
Jeez,
so you just got to watch it.
You got to check out who you're going to worry, you're going to think with. But no, very nice place to work there, Thank God we're not in the bloody 70s to 80s anymore.
I never got in much. But I just looked with shock, to see Garth with his face. Wondering how he's going to open the bowling for Western Province the next day.
Oh, crikey. I know, imagine. Well, these oaks, that's what they used to do. Okay, so a moment of extreme happiness in your life.
Well, happiness, just to be quick, my eldest son, went to Rhodes University where I went to, but he inherited more brains than my wife and myself and the whole family together. So he did a business science degree, then he did a master's, and he graduated as the top master's student cum laude at Rhodes University. So that was a proper achievement. But then then I've got twins. Brett and Ross. And Ross and both my twins have got cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy,
And Ross went to NMU, and he did not one but 2 diplomas. He did a diploma and he did a higher diploma in public relations. And when we went to his graduation, when he went to get his higher diploma, he cum laude it. He's got a photographic memory. They know him here as the mayor of Walmer.
Well, he's the bloody clever Dakin, clearly.
The other one is clever. The first, Ross is he's got a photographic memory. And every single professor and lecturer and person in the audience stood for him. And then my other one.
So that was a happy moment.
That was incredible. Amazing. It was incredible. Because I'd been to graduation stuff and nothing would beat this graduation. And then my other one, Brett, is he's a sportsman. He's sports but he does graphics and other stuff. But he played provincial chess for Eastern Province for 8 years. Successfully, provincial. And he played for the provincial senior team as well. That's how good he is. He still goes to club night on Thursday.
Chess is popular as well, eh?
No, and he's the only guy in the family that can play chess. But he's good. Properly. Fires van Vuren, I bumped him to one Thursday night. He was at the Dyers Club, which is where the PE Chess Club have got their chess. And Fires I hadn't seen Fires for a while, and he said, "What are you doing you don't come out at night to the Dyers Club?" And I said, "No, because my youngster's playing chess. So Fires said, "When's he going to finish?" I said, "No, we're finished now." So he said, "I want to go and meet him." He said to me, because I was one of the better chess players at VP. Van Vieren. But look, I've got respect for him because I never knew he painted until I looked at his little
Yes,
thing and stuff.
Fires does everything.
And Fires does surfboards and he surfs.
Yeah.
Fires does everything.
Yeah.
Photography and videography and everything.
Video stuff.
So Fires said to me, listen, I reckon I want to check what you're talking about. I said, Fires, this guy can play chess. It's got a big ranking. You get ranking in chess.
Okay, all right.
I ranking this guy.
Yeah.
We went in and Fires says to me, I'd like to introduce himself. I'm Fire, I know your dad's friend. And he set up a chessboard there.
Yeah.
4 moves he was checkmated. 4 moves. He couldn't believe it. I said, you can set them up again. You won't last another 4 moves against him. Anyway, but the proudest moment for him was he plays the indoor Paralympic sport bocce.
Okay. Oh, bocce. Like,
bocce, the Italian, but this
Italian
is the
bowls.
Paralympic one. You play in an indoor court. It's a Paralympic sport. And I've actually been to overseas with him in time. So he's down to a world ranking of number 20 on the international circuit. But he's got a protea. He's got South African colours. He's got his green protea blazer. Now, in a sporting family of ours, where Jeff was a magnificent sportsman in cricket and rugby, Grant is magnificent provincial colours. Russell Fensham, but he's only not half of it. He's a Fensham side, but he's a Springbok hockey player. But the proper green blazer that puts it on.
There we go.
Is Brett.
Brett's got it.
So, and he got it when we went in 2000. He's the African champ.
Okay.
And in 2000. African champ, and the next year he qualified to play in the World Champs in Rio de Janeiro, where they had the Olympics in 2016. And we spent 2 weeks in 2022 in December in Rio, on the Olympic site, staying in the Hilton Hotel. But I'm his manager, so I've also got a Springbok. So I can also qualify for
as well.
Yeah, I'm the coach.
So I'm his
coach. I'm his coach. No, but I don't brag, because if I say that I don't tell that to this family, because they won't take it. They don't like that.
All right. Okay.
But Brett.
But Brett has got the proper proteas.
So it was very pleasing because when he got granted his South African colours. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Those are for achievements of theirs.
Yeah, and I saw you with what was with Brett?
No, that's Ross.
Ross. That was
He's
Ross.
a politician.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
He was down your road over here. Yeah, we got.
We were sorting out the valley.
He's putting the trees back in against the fence. Yeah, that's what he does, and he just does it with the warmer residents around here, making contributions, and he keeps the library and.
It's amazing, and the library as well, which is so lovely.
They did the kiddie traffic park back again.
Isn't that incredible?
That it was derelict and broken, and he's brought it back again. And I've had to twist a few.
When we were kids, we used to love going there, and all the kids enjoy it. I mean, it's just it's part of Warmer. In fact, if you had to say, okay, Warmer, what do you think of when I think of Warmer? It's those little things. The Warmer Town Hall, obviously, but that little kiddie play park in front of the library, that is just the best.
And the library itself, you can go in there. If you'd been in there when you were a youngster, you go there.
Loved it.
It's exactly the same like it is in there. The same smell.
Camilla's in there. Camilla Ellis, and her mom worked there for years
incredible.
as well.
So Ross organised with Atlas, incredible, that they put 5 cameras. They had their last air conditioner stolen there. And Ross said, that's enough's enough.
Yeah.
So he called Atlas down there. I don't know, Gary Shevers, no, he must
Okay.
He's having a meeting with this guy, with Atlas.
Yeah.
They had a meeting, and the next minute, I found myself in the control room at Atlas. And Ross, they put 5 cameras. At 7 o'clock at night, those things go live.
Yeah.
And it's over that whole kiddies park, that traffic park,
Fantastic.
and that area. And Atlas monitor live. If a person moves there, that Atlas van is there within a minute.
Great.
He's about to put 4 around the Warmer Town Hall.
Here we go. Barbara says them both wonderful boys. So you're going to put it in the Warm Tunnel as well, because they've had stuff happening there.
Well, he put all the spotlights, and he's got solar there, but these guys are getting around there and causing nonsense. Okay, but that's all going to stop soon because Warmer Bowling Club, which is another institution, have just put up lights for night bowling and that.
Oh, brilliant!
But I think
I wondered what that was. That's great. Okay,
night bowling and but it's electricity and spotlights. It's a target.
Yeah.
But Ross has got it sorted out, because you'll get Atlas to put one on facing that green and map it 24/7. If a guy moves there,
excellent,
they'll be there. And
that's
what
we need to keep this thing going and to build.
It's beautifying public spaces. So we look after Clarendon Park. There's a moth memorial there, and there's some flower boxes there.
The moths as well. What is happening to the moths? I wonder.
The veterans are very active. Yeah. So Terry, Ross deals with them. You'll see now they're busy fixing up for the the 11th of the 11th is coming on.
Yes,
which is the
yes.
10th.
No.
Yeah, so Ross is, so everything is there. The flowers have got to go into the base around there. Everything's got to be sorted out for the festival. The flagpoles have been painted. Ross is, I hope that the municipality managed to get to cut the grass there. Otherwise, Ross is going to bring his weed out, and I'm going to have to go and help him out there tomorrow or sometime and do something.
He's going to do it. Get involved.
And Ross,
so he's driven, eh?
Yeah,
he's going.
They must watch out because he wants to be a ward councillor of this ward. They must watch out.
He's got my vote. There we go.
But he's doing that. I mean, you're going to start. It's actually quite incredible, though, because the week after this, with all the guys in Water Road, Phil Pujiga, and all the guys that are Nate and Gavin Biggs and Paul Frimmer and Mark.
Yes.
We got the municipality, because Ross doesn't leave the municipality alone.
They
must do their work.
Yeah.
They don't get a free ride with him.
Brilliant.
So he got them to paint Water Road. He's got the guy's cell number.
Okay.
Phones the guy.
Yeah.
Says, you need to paint Water Road. But then he asked him, when you're coming back to do Church, Short, and River Road?
Yes.
He said, no, we're not. That's not going to happen. So next week, Ross starts. You'll paint it. Gavin Biggs is city paint and tool.
Yeah. Brilliant, because he gets to paint.
Mark Kralfman will help. Phone Mark. Mark will help supervise.
Brilliant.
David Bolton with his guest house will be there to supervise River Road and do that. We'll go past Jenny's house. We're going to paint up all the stop street signs we'll do back again. Just for Christmas. So that the guys come from Cape Town. At least when they come back to the house, they see something looks decent.
They can't say, oh, no, it's much better in Cape Town. Yeah.
It's a tragedy that PE was the neatest, cleanest city out, whatever, is now just crime and grime.
Oh, no,
what is happening is tragic. Target Cliff is a disgrace.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's a disgrace.
It's terrible.
And that is symptomatic. Whoever is involved in the municipality and just go look at Target Cliff. If you're happy with that, it's a disgrace.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
But it's costing us.
The wires sticking out and
Gino.
And how small is that job? Like, can they not get it right?
I promise you. If Ross, we're not doing it because it's a principal matter. The municipality are going to be judged by that road. That road is causing people to get angry.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyone in the municipality doesn't get the word to them. And it's right that woman people must start getting. People is getting angry now.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is the anger. But the other, don't go past Tarrant Park when you see the flowers there. It looks good. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
See the kiddies park, the library.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
But Tarrant Cliff is that one there that they're leaving there for those oaks because they're not doing their job.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
And we could, you could probably with wonderful guys like Northfield Engineering and those kind of guys, they could get in.
Rob Archibald's just up
fix
the road.
all those barriers. Yeah. I mean, he's a wonderful. He does everything.
Brilliant
He'll
guy.
fix you anytime you get a call. He sorts. But on this one, I want those poles, and Ross wants that is a disgrace to drive through there. There are 2 street lights working in that, and they disco.
And it's like and it's the wires sticking into the road. What
crazy,
the hell?
And they've poles lying down. And
is it that difficult? It's not. Of course, it's not. It's just that that's going to the wrong place.
We'll see what the new mayor sorts. We'll see if the new mayor stamps her foot down.
The swapped round mayor. I don't know about that. We'll see how it goes. But Guy Dakin, it's been an absolute pleasure. Fire said it was going to be a 3-hour show. He's not far off. It's 10 minutes off.
Past my bedtime.
Yeah. Guy, thank you so much for joining. Thanks, we've got a competition as well for the guys out there now. We're gonna do the giveaway tool. Let's stick it on, Philippa, and see if we can do this. We put a giveaway tool on the thing, and we pull the lever. You're gonna put it onto the screen as well. And we can do the draw. Let's see what it looks like. There we go. And see who's going to win. You don't have to pull us off. You can put us on again as well. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Neil Thompson. And we got Neil Thompson to win. You can remove it now. Thanks, man. There we go. Neil Thompson, you are the winner. Where's the boy? There it is. You've got a case of Fitch and Leeds from Gary DeBrain and the guys from Fitch and Leeds, and it will be posted to you, Neil Thompson. Thank you so much, and lovely to have Neil on as well. Absolute stalwart of PE too, legend guy.
He taught my son as well after third grade. Inherited him another one, then inherited all of other Dakins. I mean,
how many Dakins have been through his flipping hands? Absolutely, it's insane. But Guy, thank you so much. It's been a fascinating talk.
We're finished now.
We're done. We're done now. We're done.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle,